Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the outer fringes of reality, where fact meets speculation, where paranoia meets illumination, where madness overlaps the fragile membrane of sanity. Do not be afraid. Open your eyes and open your minds to that region that lies beyond the realm of the known, that region we call the ExoZone. I am your host, Dicktor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. And with me is my co-host and aficionado of all things fringe, the Nerdrotic Channel's Gary Beekler. Gary, how are you this evening? It seems like we haven't spoken in a long time, like in, 15 minutes.
Oh, the absence makes the heart grow fonder. Doomcock,
It does.
Really does. I am feeling very fringe tonight. I'm feeling very outer fringe. I think there's a lot to talk about. As I threw into the chat, it's kind of an open lines night tonight. I've got some topics that we can go over, but we can definitely talk about anything weird this evening. And as you know, and I should say this before we start, is everything we talk about here is we try to keep it paranormal and weird, but we try to keep it fun. It's just speculation. We are not stating this as our beliefs or what your belief should be. We don't mean to disrespect any religions or any belief system. We are just here having a good time, especially on this Easter special of the ExoZone. I also want to let everybody know that after it airs live, because of the algorithm gods, which we all must pray to until Dicktor takes over the planet and fixes the YouTube algorithm, we have to unfortunately put this on other channels. So you want to catch these live here, but then I'm going to plant it over at Nerdrotic Live. So please go subscribe over there. That's my other channel. If you go to my channel page, you'll see it on the right-hand side with Friends of Nerdrotic. You'll see Nerdrotic Live, or it's just youtube.com/c/Nerdrotic Live, or just Google Nerdrotic Live, and you will see it. And greetings, everybody in the chat. So it's been a while since we've done one of these, my friend.
I know. Somebody pissed off to Italy.
Yeah, damn. I know. What a jackass.
No, it has been, but it's good to be back. It's good to get back to some weirdness. Eric, Mark C has said that there's been some dragon sightings. He sent us some footage of dragons up in the sky. He said he'd send us some more though, because it was in a foreign language that I couldn't understand, and it's a long video, so I couldn't actually get to the dragons except little glimpses. So I guess we'll talk about that in the future. But yeah, a lot of weirdness. I know also MK Ultra had a theory about Sasquatch that was very interesting. Maybe if he's around, he will share some of that with us as well.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, and definitely I'll try to get to as much as I can in the chat. Hit at Nerdrotic. I see Thunder Robots right here. As a kid, I lived in a haunted house. Things happened like my dad getting locked into his tool room in the basement and hearing footsteps from behind me when my back was against the wall. That is creepy. That is, you know what? Thunder Robots, thank you for that cool story. And I've got a story like that. And the biggest disappointment from Italy, Doomcock, is I was in a castle that was built in 1392 by, and it was a reward to some lord or something for some battle against the Byzantines or something. I'm not completely sure. And I ran around that castle in the middle because I had jet lag. So I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning in this creepy ass castle with my phone trying to get EVPs. And I have like 3 hours of audio footage. I've gone over 2 hours. I got nothing. I got zip. I was like, come on, there's got to be something. There wasn't a footstep. There wasn't a brush against my back. There was nothing. And I sat in the darkest, creepiest rooms. And it like legit creepy, this place at night, because it was really old. And the cool thing about this castle was they kept like, antiques that are worth thousands of dollars just laying around. They had these giant books, Dicktor, these giant books with like diaries that with old handwriting in them that you could just walk up and open.
Wow.
And read if you could read Sicilian or Latin, you could read somebody's journal entry from like 1700.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was so cool. And I'm like, oh, I should not be touching this, but I am. And yeah, me and Mrs. Nerdrotic tried to read it, but then we thought it was going to be the Necronomicon, and then we're like, maybe we shouldn't. But
it wasn't. Well, the problem is you you said 1300s or something like that.
Yeah.
The problem is old ghosts, dude. I mean, they don't know from tapes or recording equipment, so you're not going to get them. I mean, you need to be around ghosts from the 30s or the 40s. Otherwise, you're not gonna get it.
No, I tried hurling insults in Sicilian and Latin with my translation app. I was calling him like your mother was a goat and stuff like that, and I couldn't do it.
Oh man. Maybe you should have tried singing like Dean Martin in Italian,
Oh.
Nel blu de pinto de blu, and see maybe they'd be like,
Frankie.
Frankie or Dino or whatever. Also, I don't know. I mean, does it work on phones? I mean, doesn't it have to be like a actual tape, like a cassette or a reel to reel or something? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking the chat. I'm asking people. I don't know that it works on digital, does it?
It might not. It really might not. I think that's a great point.
I mean, it's really what it is, Gary. I think it's like magnetic resonance of some kind that imprints on physical media, but there's no actual sound. So like the digital is I mean, it's not going to pick up on the mic. So it's not really going to imprint itself on a chip.
I didn't even think of that. Well, that's why you're in the center of the earth making robots, and I ran a comic store. So
I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but since you didn't get something, that's the only reason that I can think that you didn't, unless of course it's all hooey and doesn't work. But I've heard it, I've heard it so many times that I'm pretty convinced it does work. Next time, try it with a cassette.
Yeah, I will. I mean, ghosts are the one thing I've actually had an experience with, like a legit creepy experience. I used to live in a movie theater in Encinitas. It's still there.
Oh, how awesome.
I was for a little while I was a projectionist, but mainly I was the pot and drug dealer for the guy who ran on the movie theater. And so I lived there, and I would close up at night, and this is the place where we did Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I would spend many a night there. I'd clean up after the theater, all the movies ran. I went and cleaned up the theater. But one night after Rocky Horror Picture Show, two of us stayed late, and there was a dressing room under the stage. So it's an old movie theater built in the 20s. It has a stage with a screen over it. And it was just us there because I locked us up, and there was me and two girls, and we were smoking bowls under the stage, and we heard somebody walking over us, and we all like, whoa, somebody's here. So I went up, and the only other person it could have been was my friend Chris, who had keys to the theater, or the owner. So I'm like, oh shit. So we ran up there, and there was nobody there, and I'm like, somebody's fucking with us. I'm like, Chris, or Alan, who was the owner of the place, and nobody answered back. And I looked around a little bit and didn't think much of it. Honestly, I was like, somebody, it's like, whatever, come down if you want to come down. And I walked downstairs, started sparking a little bit, talking to the ladies, hey, two girls there smoking bowls. It was a good night. And we heard the footsteps again. So I ran up there again, and there's nobody there. Now I'm starting to get a little freaked out. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'm all, Chris, if you're fucking me, I'm going to beat the crap out of you, dude. And I looked behind the curtains. There's an exit. There was a little passageway to the exit that goes on to E Street. And Encinitas. This is on 101 downtown Encinitas. It's called the La Paloma Theater. It's still there. It's still showing Rocky Horror Picture Show. And went back down again, heard the footsteps again. And now I was like, the hair was standing up on my arms, and the girls were completely freaked out, and we got the fuck out of there. We were just like, I'm okay, we're leaving, bye. And we went across the street to the, and that's like one of the instances I've had in that theater. So we went across the street and had carne asada burritos till the sun came up before we went back in that place.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was weird. So, and somebody did die in that movie theater. There was a piano player, because it was a silent movie theater. So you had the piano player. The piano player had committed suicide in that theater.
Oh man, those are the worst.
Yeah. So his spirit is trapped in there.
Well, my family had, my mother was from the Boston area, and she, her family was one of these, American, real founder, kind of families. And so her mother, her aunt lived in a stately old manor that was extremely haunted, like extremely haunted. And like the kind of thing where like at night they would say that you could feel somebody passing by the bed. You would feel the shifting of the sheets as it walked on. And then there was a little her cousin, when he was a little boy, the mother heard him talking in his room, all conversationally, with pauses. And she finally went in and said, what's going on? What? And she said, oh, I was talking to the nice old man. And he was a sea captain. Turns out that the former resident of the house was a sea captain who died there. And he was having a conversation with the kid.
Oh, I love stories like that. And they were just having a little talk.
It was really normal. It was way back when. So unfortunately, nobody was, I don't think, documenting it or anything. But I mean, dude, there was like evenings where you would hear a loud party going on downstairs, a loud party of ghosts, and like with voices and chatter and everything. You go down there's nothing. So, I mean, it was extremely haunted.
And that's weird. And that makes you think, is it okay? And there's so many different levels of it. Like it could be just ghosts, disembodied spirits, on, people who don't know they're dead, whatever. And then there could be like the party you heard, which is like an imprint in time or something, or some kind of loop going on, whatever it is. It's cool. I do need to bring up that somebody really big just passed away in the field of spirits and ghosts. Lorraine Warren passed away from The Conjuring, and she is from the Warrens. And of course, we had Annabelle Creation and all the movies that were made about her. Yeah, she just passed away and a couple days ago. 92 years old.
A good life.
A good long life, taking on ghosts. And I mean, I haven't seen Annabelle. I've seen The Conjuring. I like that movie a lot. I thought it was actually pretty good. But yeah, she just passed away. So rest in peace. And now she can become a ghost herself if she wants, if she so chooses. But yeah, that's very sad. So rest in peace, Lorraine Warren.
Absolutely.
And wait, well, we got a couple of super chats here. Let's get over there. Daxamite 999. I've heard of this thing called STD. It's shrouded in mystery. Some say it came from nowhere and appealed to no one. Classified to this day, no one knows why it exists, and no one cares. Daxamite, thank you. It's classified, so we can no longer talk about it. That will be great. That would actually, Robert Meyer Burnett said that, and I totally agree with that. Unfortunately, I'll be making lots of videos about it.
I'm going to kick the shit out of that goddamn thing until my dying day. Even if it gets canceled, I'm going to go back and pick up like part twos of reviews of all the things that I left on the table just out of like despair, out of like, oh, this thing's running too long and I need to cut this video. I need to stop working on it. But there's more stuff. There's always more stuff. You can drill down forever into the stupidity of these shows.
Oh, and definitely, and I'm sure you're aware of this because you made the videos. Do as I have done. I've gone back to my old predictions that ended up coming true, because not that I'm a great Nerdstradamus or anything, but it's just the show is that predictable. That there's a couple things I predicted a year ago that happened because it's that predictable. It's not, nothing extraordinary on my part. It's something really extraordinarily bad on theirs.
Yeah.
800 Hong Kong dollars from our good friend Doomcock, John T. Net.
Hail John T. Net.
Hail, my friend. Apparently, no one needs a local bank account to send supers overseas. Luckily, we have VPNs. Hail the Herald of Nerd and my Lord Doomcock. Greetings from Rotterdam. Jet lag, so we'll miss the stream. Have fun all. John T. Net, get some sleep. Thanks for... Oh, wow. You can hear the nerdrotic dogs back there. Yeah, get some sleep in. I'm glad you made it to Rotterdam and have lots of fun.
Thank you, John. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you will come back next week out of Rotterdam for the next ExoZone.
Yes. Rotterdam. That sounds cool.
Yes, it does.
Traveling on business. John T. Net's just like the world traveler. Are you a spy, John T. Net?
John T. Net is an international man of intrigue and mystery.
Ah, that's brilliant.
And my ambassador to China as well.
Anna
Doom, ambassador to China.
Women want him and men want to be him. John T. Net. Mark C, $5. I once experienced what could only be an attempted possession. I've never felt like that kind of hate before. Oh, do elaborate, Mark C. I have felt that way too, but I was under the thralls of drug addiction. But there were times, probably because I was up, when you stay up 5 to 7 days, your brain does really strange things. There were times I didn't feel like I was in control anymore. It was weird.
Yes.
DJM Voices for $5. Hail Gary and Doomcock. We have to catch most of the show on replay, but here's some money. Well, thank you. And be sure to catch the show on replay at Nerdrotic Live, everybody, Nerdrotic Live. And I'll post that in the community section on Twitter. It will also be available at nerdrotic.com. And Doomcock and I have plans for the future. We can't really say much right now, but we have some big plans for the future for this. You're going to see more ExoZone one way or another in the future.
Yes, pretty big. Pretty big.
Pretty big stuff. Right. Okay. So, CERN vaulted us into a parody dimension. Change my mind. Dr. Meatball, I'm not going to change your mind. I am in full agreement. Somewhere the Twin Towers still stand. Yeah, Star Trek is still good. Star Wars is still good. So is Doctor Who. There's a world out there. We're just not in it right now. The Chargers are still in San Diego, TLJ Russian bot. Oh, one of these Russian bots, Doomcock.
Oh no.
Yeah. Guys, I work with a wonderfully beautiful woman who's into the paranormal and weird. You're all doing me a service by fueling our conversations. Thank you. Oh, you are quite welcome. Hey, if we can help one Russian bot meet another Russian bot, then they'll maybe get married and make more little Russian bots, and they can sit there and make fake reviews about Captain Marvel. We're adding to the world. No, that's good. That's good. That's we're helping. We're helping a romantic connection, Doomcock, making the world a better place.
We're like Yenta.
Yeah, we're Yentas.
We're Yentas.
It's like butter. It's like butter.
I'm delighted. I tell you.
Russian brats. What about North Korea bots? We don't talk about them here, Paul Leon. We don't. Russian bots for the win. Russian fembots. Hey, Russian fem. Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up our first article. Let's pull up our first article. Give me just a second.
I have a little bit of some context here.
Some context. So the first thing I guess we could talk about, it's in our title, but I found this on the Coast to Coast AM, still a good website. I don't really listen to the show much anymore because I'm not a big George Noory fan.
Right.
I liked John B. Wells when he was the guest host, and he got kind of run off, but I really dug that guy. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's the guy who did the voiceover at the beginning of JFK. He's got this super deep voice, and I thought he was really the heir apparent to Art Bell much more than George Noory, and that's my theory, and actually it's John B. Wells' theory why he got run off. He does his own thing now, and he gets a little political, but it's called Caravan to Midnight. But I still go to C2C AM to get some news. I think it's a good place to go get some news. So what do we got here? Let's start with the Chupacabra.
Oh, the Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
Very good. Very good.
Yes. Let's go with the Chupacabra. A little cryptozoology. I know it's a favorite subject of yours. That's why I picked it.
Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You are welcome. So it looks like there was a Chupacabra incident in Mexico. Slays 71 farm animals. Notice that little question mark there. That's to keep you from getting in trouble from the fake news people. So by the way, this live stream is going to get, I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of people have noticed this on my live streams. I have noticed this on the quartering. After some live stream ends, the recommended videos are weird live stream Russian children's videos. I've got screenshot after screenshot after screenshot after my live streams air. It's like these weird adults playing with toys. It's basically like kid programming.
Yeah,
it's really creepy kid programming, and it's all in the suggested field after I finish a live stream. I believe this is a way to shadow ban. It's very strange. There's nothing that I put in my keywords or anything that would connect that at all, other than they're both live streams. So I don't know if it's just a mistake by YouTube, but I think it's very strange. I've also noticed with our ExoZone stuff, we get really buried on that. And that's why we both have to move them from our main channel after they're live, because it really does nail our channels sometimes, unfortunately, but that's the algorithm. Okay. So a farmer in Mexico lost an astounding 71 animals to a mysterious nocturnal predator that some suspect could be the infamous Chupacabra. The gruesome slayings reportedly occurred over the course of the last few weeks in Simplicio Martinez property, which is located near the base of the Sierra de Juarez mountain range. According to the beleaguered farmer, the first incident took place on March 28th. Then an unknown animal somehow killed 20 of the farmer's sheep in one night. Already reeling from the tremendous loss, Martinez luck got even worse when the mysterious beast returned to his farm again last week. During this event, a night watchman at the site heard a commotion where the animals are kept and ventured out to investigate. Despite being armed with a machete, the guard opted not to intervene in the situation after he spotted what appeared to be a black creature of tremendous size. Okay, maybe he's not a wuss. The next morning, Martinez discovered that a whopping 51 chickens, 51 pollos have been killed by the
voracious predator.
Voracious predator. Thank you. I can't read. Yes. As is often the case with these types of killings, a number of odd elements surrounding the attacks have raised suspicions that they may have been the work of the Chupacabra. Specifically, the farmer noted that the creature apparently entered the chicken coop by way of a hole it had created in the roof, which was at least 6 feet off the ground. That means Martinez mused either it climbed or it flew. Additionally, he observed that the predator consistently bites at the jugular of its prey and drains them of their blood, which is another classic method of attack attributed to the fearsome goat sucker of paranormal lore. Although a local veterinarian insists that the culprit behind the killings is merely a canine of some kind, Martinez is skeptical. of the assessment and argues that a dog would not have such precise style of attack. It's not a normal animal, the farmer opined, speculating that it must have been some kind of massive beast since it has consumed the blood of 20 sheep. Be it as it may, Martinez now simply hopes, which is not a strategy, that the authorities can investigate the matter because he and his neighbors fear the creature may move on to feasting on humans now that it has decimated the animal population of the farm. Now we go to the link where we see a picture of the animals. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's pretty spooky.
There's the this poor guy. I mean, that's like all his money.
Oh man, I know. I mean, that's a terrible loss. God.
Yeah.
Voracious Chupacabra. And I always thought they were kind of small, actually.
Yeah. As if we go back to this, I always thought they had like a single tooth or something like that. I don't know. Now I've seen like video supposedly of them. Hey, who knows? There's a lot of weird looking animals. There's also injured animals that could look, from afar could look like it. I'm not saying I believe in the chupacabra, but it's like the legend of this thing has been around for hundreds of years, like going back to 1700, I believe. So yeah, there's something out there, but you think somebody would have seen one at this point, but you never know. That's a lot of farm animals to be killed by one dog, and the dog would be really loud, and the dog would not leave much left. And for one, it would just need one or two. I don't think it would kill everything unless it was a rabid dog, which I guess could be the case, but I don't know. What do you think, man?
I don't think it was God, that'd have to be a hell of a dog, wouldn't it? And I don't think the guy would be scared by a dog. I mean, he saw something that obviously like stayed his hand and said, he basically said, good luck with all that. And I don't know, man. What do you think?
Yeah, well, listen, packs of dogs can be intimidating. I experienced that in Sicily. And Sicily has an amazing amount of two things: dilapidated castles and forts that are hundreds of years old, just everywhere, just freaking everywhere, and dogs running around everywhere, just wild dogs or lost dogs. And I mean, a lot. You have to avoid them on the road. They're pretty friendly, though. I mean, they're all a bunch of flea bags, but I mean, some of them are pretty cool. I wish I could have taken a couple home, to be honest with you. But yeah, we had a group. We were in a town. We were just walking around this town, and there was a group of like 5 or 6 dogs, a pack of them. And they all came up, sniffed my legs, and left. And I was like, whoa, what? So yeah, I don't think it would have to be a pretty damn big dog, like maybe like that guy saw at Skinwalker, that giant dire wolf type of dog or whatever, but still.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. Let's go to the chat.
That is very odd. I just wish people would get some footage of this stuff. I mean, everybody has cell phones. Why don't we at least have some kind of, documentation, or, I mean, even the corpses, or,
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is gonna, it's still a big wide world. But the problem with, here, like if you put it up against Bigfoot's in usually very dense forest. So I could still buy that a little bit, but the Chupacabra is basically running around a desert where it's pretty easy to spot stuff. Unless it is, here, I'm going to look at some images.
Because I wish, we had a photo or a recording or something. I certainly would. I mean, I'd get my phone out and I would, get on it.
These are pretty gruesome pictures. They're mostly of dead dogs, but here's one. That's a kangaroo.
Uh-oh, the
Okay,
Australian Chupacabra.
The dingo ate my baby.
The dingo cobra.
Photos of bizarre looking animals. That looks like just a really weird dog with a rat tail.
That is an odd.
That's a dog.
Well, that's just that's an orphan coyote.
That's weird. Look at that tail. That's weird.
Well, that's this. Isn't that the same one as before? I don't know.
No,
it's just a dog. I mean, I thought this thing could fly too.
Yeah.
I thought he basically like exsanguinated the targets.
Yeah.
So I mean, not just devoured them, but basically drained their blood. I mean, in this report, was the blood drained?
The farmer reported it was drained. But like I didn't see anything in those pictures and stuff. Sorry. Goddamn internet is fucking hilarious. That's a tough one for me, the old Chupacabra, but what the hell? I thought we'd start with that one. We're going to go back to the chat. We also want to talk about one that's very interesting. Secure Team did a video. We'll get to that in a second. Dyson Spheres. Dyson Spheres are fascinating. And they think they found a second possible Dyson Sphere star. I have to pull this article up to me. Second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Would you like detect a Dyson sphere?
Research just found a second. There we go.
I mean, it says it would surround a sun. I mean, would it enclose the sun, or is it just surround it?
It's just surrounding it, so it doesn't enclose it.
Okay.
So it's a lot like in Infinity War. That thing that was surrounding the star that Thor had to restart. That's kind of what a Dyson sphere is supposed to look like. Now the reason, the way, and you know this, the way they judge it is, it's the amount of light that is reduced when you're looking at a particular star, and we know that's how we guess the size of planets. That's how we know exoplanets are there. It's usually if a big planet goes over a star that's a certain amount of light years away, it dips the light by 1% or 2%. It's very minimal, but these two stars have drops of light of 20%. So it's either that's something giant for one, and it's consistently doing it, which is weird. Let's get to the super chats and then we'll get back to that article. It's interesting, and again, I just float ideas out here, and you guys tell us what you think. Dr. Venkman would love to hear more about the Piri. I'll start again. Would love to hear about the Piri Reis map, and I will certainly, we could talk about that. I was talking about it Friday with Comics Division. Comics Division doesn't believe in that stuff, but I do. And the Piri Reis map is not anything people have to believe in. It's a fact. That map is a bona fide fact, and it's just one of those anomalies that archaeologists go, I don't know. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Doomcock. It's a map of from the 15 or 1600s of Antarctica. Which is
interesting.
Impossible because we supposedly didn't discover. We rediscovered it in the 1800s. But I will definitely do that, Dr. Venkman. That's something we'll get to because I know a couple of things about that. Jack Random, $5. NWO, New World Order and Occultism has two pillars: male mercy, female severity. TV pushing feminism, elites pushing loss of freedom. In feminist push, occult is a feminist push occultic ritual. Woo. There is a lot going on that I am still, I'll be honest with you, Jack Random, trying to put together in my head. And once I get a solid theory, I will certainly talk about it. I need a little more evidence, but I certainly think there's something very weird going on in there has been, as far as our information flow from the media, that's been going on for years. but I think it's really infiltrated our entertainment as well, because entertainment, quite frankly, is more influential now than our media, than our news media. Our news media has taken quite a step back over the last couple of years. So what other way to get through the masses? Through their amusement, through their entertainment. I think that's interesting points you bring up there, Jack Random. Thank you very much for the $5. Jack Random, one more time for $2. Was comparing last comment to astrotheology theory. Okay, gotcha. I can read.
Astrotheology?
Astrotheology. Or is it astrology? I maybe just accidentally put in theology, but maybe he meant astrotheology. I don't know. Elaborate on that, Jack Random. If I'm misreading that, I apologize. North American Vikinger for $5. Mexican Chupacabra. Navajo Skinwalkers. Bigfoot. Yeti. North Wendigo. Shapeshifters of the Americas. Shapeshifters. Skinwalker Ranch. ExoZone topic. We did it. What, a month ago?
Yeah, we did. It was a very good show.
It was.
It really freaked me out. The skinwalkers, the dogs that were spotted by the patrol in trench coats, smoking.
Yeah,
that was bizarre. It was by the tribal patrol, the actual tribal police, from what I understand.
Yep. Check out our show from a month ago. It is on my channel. You can just search it. And also check out the Jeremy Corbyn video. He did a video. He did a documentary on Amazon. You could get it on Amazon Prime. You can rent it for a few bucks. It's worth a watch. It's really good. Jesse Sequeda Jr. for $5.55. Hey, you sass that hoopy. You sass that hoopy Nerdrotic. Got his stream back. That Frood really knows where his towel is at. You damn right. I am a cool Frood. Douglas Adams, citing his Douglas Adams. Jesse has very good taste. Mr. Roboto, $2. People who hunt the creature Gary. Ooh, I don't know. I'm pretty easy to hunt these days. I'm not as young and spry as I used to be.
Fortunately, he has size 3 feet. So he's not mistaken as Bigfoot very often. He has the dainty China girl feet. It's the damnedest thing. That's why you never see his feet. They're almost like fucking hooves, but they're really like the China girls that would get their feet bowed and broken. You know, basically Gary can't walk.
Yeah,
you never see him really go anywhere.
You never see the lower half. You know,
he hobbles around. You know, like a geisha, like a bearded, big-footed geisha.
Wow, it was from all those probes too. My ass hurts every time I wake up in the morning. Bruce Lombardo, $1.99. Don't forget to visit the P.O. box, good sir. I am visiting it tomorrow. Unfortunately, it was closed today because of Easter. I have my P.O. box at a UPS store, so that's in West Portal. But I will. Thank you, Bruce. And I will. Yeah. Once Nerdrotic Nooner tomorrow at noon, noonish, right after I release my, God, if I can get through it, my Star Trek breakdown video. Peter Davison, Australian, $2. Max Spears witnessed sphere activity as a child. Like the glowing spheres, Peter. Those are kind of a thing too. And thank you. And by the way, you had a super chat way up here. Australian $2 sent book to Doomcock. He sent you a book, Peter Davison.
When did he send it?
When did you send it, Peter? You can respond in the chat. You don't have to give a super chat. And Chris, thank you for the $2 donation. He sent me a Fifth Doctor Doctor Who book, and it's awesome. And I'm going to review it on Patreon.
Oh, sweet. That's great. I've been having some trouble with, I'm just not, like, one thing went missing from that people sent me. And so I'm asking people, let me know, you know, when you send something so that I know to look for it. Cause that was a little weird. I don't know what happened there, but that could just be common postal incompetence, but
yep. All right, before we get back to the regular chat, let's go to now this is reported originally. I found out about it through Secure Team 10, which is a great channel. Tyler over there doing some great work. I'd love to talk to that dude someday. Researchers just found a second Dyson Sphere star when astronomers discovered a strange pattern of light near a distant star called KIC 8462852. Man, work on those names, guys. How about Bob or something? Back in October, it was like nothing anyone had observed before. When a planet passes in front of a star, the star's brightness usually dips by around 1%. But KIC 8462852 has been experiencing dips of up to 22%. Doomcock.
Wow.
Suggesting that something hugs. It's a big hug. Something huge is zooming past. And now a second star with strange dips in brightness has been identified, named Epic. I'm just going to name it Epic. It's EPIC 204278916. The star is estimated to be about the size of our sun in diameter, but has only half its mass. It was discovered by NASA's Kepler spacecraft in 2014, and ever since, a team of astronomers led by Simone Scaringi from the Max Planck Institute for Extraterrestrial Physics in Germany has been keeping tabs on its dips in light or light curves. And this thing is even stranger than KIC 8462852. The researchers report that over 78.8 days of observation, Epic displayed irregular dimming of up to 65% for around 25 consecutive days. As we mentioned above, something as huge as a planet orbiting the star will cause it to dim just 1%. So what could possibly be big enough to cause a dimming of 65%? Back when researchers were trying to explain the irregular and large dips in brightness of KIC, also known as Tabby Star, they came up with two plausible explanations and one not so plausible explanation. The first plausible explanation was that the large and irregular light curves were being caused by a massive swarm of comets orbiting the star. Okay. The second suggests that KIC is a distorted star that spins so fast it becomes oblate, or meaning that it is larger, meaning it has a larger radius at the equator than it does at the poles. As Paul Gilster from Centauri Dreams explained, this produces higher temperature and brightening at the poles. Excuse me, while the equator is consequently darkened. The not so plausible explanation is that the dimming is being caused by a kind of Dyson sphere, a gigantic sphere made of solar panels that completely circle a star, featured in several science fiction stories. Aliens should always be the very last hypothesis you consider. But this looked like something you would expect in an alien civilization to build. Jason Wright, an astronomer from Penn State University, told The Atlantic at the time of the discovery. Since then, neither plausible explanation has turned out to be all that convincing. Researchers have pretty much rejected the distorted star hypothesis, and a study back in January asserted that for a star to dim by about 20% over the course of an entire century, it would require some 648,000 comets, each about 200 kilometers wide, to have transited it, which isn't exactly plausible. But what about a dust disk? What's a dust disk? The German team behind the new Epic observation suggests that its massive dips in light curve could be caused by the existence of protoplanetary disk that's oriented edge on in relation to the Earth. That orientation could mean it's not only blocking the light from the star or at certain times, we're also at the wrong angle to be viewing its own infrared radiation. A protoplanet disk is a rotating disk of dense gas and dust that tends to surround a newly formed star, which is plausible in the case seen as EPIC 2042786 appears to be relatively young, no older than 11 million years. How do they know that? I mean, to put that in perspective, our sun is estimated about 4.5 billion years old. How in the hell could you know that?
I don't know. The only thing could be like maybe the spectrum of the light or something, but I don't know. I think they make a lot of assumptions, you know?
Yeah.
Like the assertion that they made earlier that they said aliens should always be the last thing that you think of, the last option that you think of. Well, no. You could think of it's Bigfoot. It's it's a goddamn dimmer switch on the star. You could come up with an infinite number of silly possibilities that aliens should actually be kind of close to the top of the list of things that you think of when you get right down to it. I mean, what is this bias, this scientific caution against the hypothesis that somewhere in this vastness there is a replication of the life that is here? I mean, we know that life exists. It's here. So if it's here, why not there? Why is it scientific heresy? Why is there burning at the stake to hypothesize that, hell, there might be some other guys like us out there?
I don't understand. Maybe it's, they're hypothesizing that there's, what did they say? 648,000 comets that are 200 kilometers at minimum wide. That's more plausible. And they're grouped up, circling, or there's some disc-shaped dust cloud that's on its side. That sounds well. Why not just say it's a glitch in the matrix? Like that we are right in some sort of similar. We're in a sim. We're in a giant sim, and it's just bad programming. Somebody didn't code very well.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just this narrow-minded approach to alien hypotheses that I find intellectually very bankrupt. I mean, why should any option have more or less weight than any other? You should be treating this agnostically. You should be not swayed for or against the hypothesis of alien life.
Yeah, and the fact that if they were true scientists and they weren't so damn dogmatic in their beliefs, and this is so ingrained in the academic system and stuff. I mean, what harm is there in saying it's possible? I mean, and like the fact that they're even saying this, proves they have come a long way, that it's even being considered and talked about. But I will acknowledge that. But I mean, what harm? And that's kind of something I wanted to talk about with the chat and stuff too. It's part of my title, The Reality of UFOs, is like, what is the harm of just saying, yeah, it could be? I mean, like, we don't know, but right. It's the human fracking ego. It's scientists. I'm not gonna say, I don't want to generalize too much, but we'll just say maybe there's a couple out there that have their whole self-worth wrapped up in their PhD or whatever. And it's very hard for somebody whose whole self-worth is based on being a brainiac to say, I don't know, right. Which scientists should be saying that all the time. And a lot do. Okay. But you see, I mean, the guy I trot out the most, and I just don't like him. And sorry if you do, and that's cool if you do. But Neil deGrasse Tyson is just like really this like super arrogant guy,
Yeah.
and just like always like shoots down the alien stuff. Like and it's obvious because that guy has made a living and as it has his whole self-worth wrapped up into being the smartest guy in the room. It's that important to him. Which I always thought, listen, you know, it's there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know or this is a possibility. That's what this whole show is about. It's like, let's just talk about the possibility. We're going to talk about some weird stuff. It probably isn't true, but I mean, there's definitely weird stuff out there. We're finding weird stuff all the time that we can't explain every day. As time goes on, you know, archaeology's had to change, science has had to change. Just look, even 5 years ago, like a Dyson sphere wouldn't even be considered, or 10 years ago, I'll say. So, I mean, we are making headway in that. It's just, come on, guys.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a good point. I mean, it really is that, you know, they are at least discussing it. And the Harvard astronomer that talked about Oumuamua may be an alien probe and was willing to go and publish that shows that there is, you know, science does advance. It just kind of advances in little conservative creeps and crawls, you know, inches instead of leaps.
yeah. And when I get to later on talking about Graham Hancock, there's some really good news with that too. Plus, he's got a new book coming out in like a week, or maybe it came out already, or no, it's at the end of this month. Okay, I'll finish this up. Young stellar objects, YSOs, are known to have a large flux dips in this weird star, and this weird star has. And they've sorry, hang on. I need another drink. And they've recently been shown to come in a variety of inclination angles. Now, the better telescopes we have, we're going to find so much more weird stuff out there anyway. There might be stars that just plain ass blink. I mean, who knows? I mean, well, there's pulsars, right? So,
right. Yeah.
The best part of this hypothesis could be applied to Kick, too, says Siegel. While Kick's age was initially estimated to be hundreds of millions of years old, a number of astronomers have argued that it could be much younger. And like still, I have no, and I'm sure they have a way of doing it. I just don't know how you would age a star. And even if it's not, mature stars have been known to host rings of cometary-like debris or dust called circumstellar disks. Which always include a vast outer disk, but often an inner one as well. One of the circumstellar disks could be surrounding Kick. If the star turns out to be younger than it's generally accepted, blah, 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 the German team's observation have yet to go through the formal peer review process, so this is very much up for debate. But the fact that we found a second one, and the deeper we look, and if you see on top here, that's kind of a representation of a Dyson sphere. I don't know if it would have solar panels on it. I would think something else, but yeah, I mean, like,
yeah, some kind of high tech, you know, material that we don't know about.
There's so many things that oh my God. So Oumuamua is a big deal. And that's the reason you and I covered it. And I'm fascinated. I'm as fascinated with it as you are. Oumuamua was that big cigar shaped thing that came through our solar system a few months back. It sped up after it went around, slingshot around the sun. And as Doomcock talked about, a Harvard or Yale, I'm sorry, professor.
Yeah, it was Harvard, and it changed trajectory as well.
Yes. Changed directions, sped up, and the guy said the only way it could do that is if it's extraterrestrial, and his hypothesis was it had a solar sail. I don't even think it needed that, honestly. I think it had an engine or something. And the theory, so there's a picture that's been going around the internet that is completely, it's false. So the picture that's been going around the internet is like this giant rock shard. They have no idea what it looks like. They know it was a red in tone, which tends to be the color of a lot of the asteroids that come out of the Kuiper belt. And but that's it. It was spinning. It was metallic because it was reflecting. There is actual video of it, but it's very blurry, so you can't really tell what it is. It's hard to find, believe it or not. If you go on Google and you search it, you're going to get a lot of animations of what people thought it was, but there is Kepler footage or some sort of footage of it spinning around. And yeah, I think, and they think there's more out there. And actually, Security Team has reported there's these big cigar-shaped things have been seen a lot, seen in the rings of Saturn. They've been seen a lot. So I certainly, why wouldn't it be a probe? I mean, like if you were advanced civilization, the first thing you'd be doing is checking out other solar systems, and you would use a probe. You wouldn't send people or your people or whatever the hell it is.
Let me assure you, they use probes. I've been probed.
Oh, and Harvey has something to say.
Yes, Harvey. Welcome, Harvey.
Yeah, about how they age the stars. So here's the deal. Is my understanding that they age the stars by evaluating the brightness, because the brighter a star is, the older it is.
I don't think that. How does that work, Harvey?
Because they get more candles on their birthday cakes.
Oh, Harvey. Boom. Oh, Davy. Oh, Davy. Fucking Harvey. We're trying to do science here. All my tubes and wires, careful notes and antiquated notions. Thanks, Harvey.
You're welcome. Fuck both of you.
All right. Well,
George. Okay.
He had to just interject. He just had to be a smart ass. You know? He's one of these assholes that would have persecuted Galileo for his genius, and we're being persecuted for our genius. Well, just because we don't know how they age stars, but we're not astronomers. Damn it. We're YouTubers, not astronomers.
Exactly. And who would have thought an eldritch god would have dad jokes? I mean, that's kind of surprising. You subverted my expectations, Harvey. You did.
Yeah. Thanks. I do that. I blew your mind, dude. I blew your mind.
Oh, yes.
If you hadn't given up the drugs, you'd be seeing me all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I still am. There's things called flashbacks, Harvey. They're nasty.
I will wait for you. I will find you.
Hey, Jason Green has a super chat about Harvey, or his kind, his kin. Do you think there is any link between the Bloop recording and Cthulhu?
Oh.
No comment.
No, he won't comment on it. Come on, Harvey, just spill.
I can neither confirm nor deny the accusations. As far as I'm concerned, the Bloop is the thing on Lost in Space that Penny had, which was just a monkey with some pointy ear, like pipe cleaners on its fucking ears. That's what special effects used to be, kids.
Yeah.
The Bloop.
The Bloop. So the loudest underwater sound ever recorded was the Bloop, by the way. And it was back in this, when was this? 90s?
Yeah, what it was like, it was serious. I mean, that's a hell of a thing. Science just ignores this shit. Science will just say, oh, it was an anomaly. Well, okay, but if it fucking happened, then how do you explain it? Because this is data. This is an anomaly, is still data. And for you not to know it, it's the same thing as that goddamn bright thing in the sky that is brighter than like all the stars in a typical galaxy put together. You know the thing I'm talking about, Gary?
No, I think
there was this thing that there's this object that I saw it on Secure Team, actually, that is brighter than a supernova could possibly be. I mean, they basically were saying that it was of an order of magnitude of brightness equivalent to if you lumped all the stars in a galaxy together.
Yes, I remember this. And we never heard about it again. We never heard of what it was.
About the bloop here.
About the bloop or the brightness, or there's also that dark spot in our in the universe, that there's a giant dark spot with no galaxies or anything. It's just black. No, right here I'm at the bloop, but we'll get to that bright thing because now you got my because I remember hearing about that.
But the bloop is fascinating.
Yeah, and the bloop was right here. It was off Argentina. I can't play it for you because you guys won't be able to hear it unless I can get it no, you guys won't be able to hear it, but you guys can find it for yourself. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the date was when they heard the bloop. 1997. Yeah, I remember them reporting. I remember Art talking about that.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Oh, let's see. Bright spot okay, so how would I search this bright spot in
yeah, I'm not sure. I could also look. Let's see if I can find something. I did brightest spot in the universe. Let's see if
oh, here it is. Brightest object.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Was discovered. But is it still there? Okay.
It was incredible. It was like something like a newly spotted. They're calling it a quasar, saying 600 trillion times brighter than the sun.
Yeah, that's some quasar.
Which shines with the power of 600 trillion suns. That basically describes my hatred for Star Trek Discovery. Maybe it's me in the future. I don't know.
I think it is. I think you had to fly out there. This was your 7th signal.
Yeah.
You flew out there and flipped the bird so hard that it, you flipped off CBS so hard that it actually punched a hole in reality. Space is dark, which makes finding bright things like stars pretty darn easy. It also makes it possible for high-powered telescopes to spot things that are very, very far away. And researchers have now believe they've spotted the brightest object known to man. It's a quasar called Inhales. PSO J352403415.3373. Phew. And it's really, really bright. It also happens to be so far away, we'll never know what it looks like right now. The astronomers who discovered the quasar used a very long, that's what she said, Basilin array located in Socorro, New Mexico. The powerful tool, she said, was
a tool.
Is a burn. To detect the quasar's incredible bright jets as they, he said, spewed. They spewed plasma out into space. The research was published in the Astrophysical Journal. Oh, it's my favorite. The centerfold in there was something else. Oh, man.
My sunspot is the centerfold. Sunspot is the centerfold.
Quasars are the result of black holes feeding on galactic material. As the black hole gobbles stuff up, it spews radio waves and light, which can be seen from great distances. And there's look at those really awesome orange blotches. Fascinating, Jim. The newly discovered quasar is incredibly far away, approximately 13 billion light years, which means that we're witnessing what looked like back in the early days of the universe when Harvey was born. And we absolutely have no idea what's left of the quasar or the surrounding galaxy today. It's probably on its way towards us, screaming at a screaming speed, ready to kill us all. So they have no idea. Did you also see that picture of the black hole? That was
weird.
It was weird, and I love Secure Team when they did the video on it, and they showed that it was actually a picture of Snoop Dogg's blunt, but it's pretty funny. There was a lot of memes with it.
Yes, Snoop Dogg's cosmic blunt.
Yes.
He will become Galactus at some point.
I always thought
up.
yeah, right. We would never ever see a picture of one. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Wasn't it? I mean, it doesn't actually look like that, does it? I mean, didn't they just put like some kind of filter on it or something?
Well, they had to. I mean, it's
invisible.
Yeah, because that's just the event horizon, what we're getting a picture of. So yeah, we're not going to actually see the whole, never. But I mean, we could be staring at like a doorway, or black holes could be where one, it's kind of reality eating itself and then creating a new one somewhere, or this is just the drainage system of the universe. Not sure. But yeah, there's a great Disney movie called Black Hole that I like a lot. It's got Slim Pickens voicing a robot.
It's got, well, I like those robots. I like the sinister one, and of course the goofy little tweaky kitty friendly one. What was his name?
I can't remember now. God damn.
The little one that floated around and stuff. I know the giant, scary one that kind of looked basically like a red Cylon.
Yep.
That was a pretty good one.
I loved that movie when I was a kid. I mean, I know it's bad, but
it is bad. It's I mean, I try to get into it, but it's I don't know. It's kind of weird and creeps along. Not one of the better live action Disney movies.
No.
Not as good as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That was a good movie.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie. Okay, let's get to the super chats here, and then we'll get to okay. Woo, a little behind here. Sorry, folks. Do you think there's okay, I already got that one. Thank you, Jason Green, for the $5 super chat about Cthulhu. Captain Spire is on the bridge, everybody.
Hail, Captain Spire.
Hail, Captain Spire. $10. A riddle for you two. Sometimes I hiss like a snake or squeak like a mouse. Sometimes I'm too fast. Sometimes I blast or I twitter. Other times I can make up my mind. What am I?
Mikey Spock, because Mikey Spock is everything and the only thing that matters in the whole universe. Thank you for that riddle.
Yes.
I don't.
Okay. Sometimes
Can you solve that stuff? I hate riddles. They make me angry.
Yeah, riddles. I'm like really terrible with them because it requires thought.
Well, it requires like duplicating the thought process of the person saying the riddle, and I have my own thought processes, and I can't do it very well to duplicate the thought processes of others. Therefore, when I take over the world, when somebody enters my throne room and says, "Riddle me this," they're looking at the business end of a royal scepter blaster. But Captain Spire is okay in my book.
Yes,
he doesn't know.
Captain Spire, tell me what's the answer to your riddle. Let's see if anybody caught it now. Because I have no clue. I'm terrible with them. I'm sorry, Captain Spire. I don't mean to disappoint you there. That's the Riddler would kick my ass. I'd be terrible at it. Where's Robin when you need him? He just, he'd figure it out. He'd go, oh, well, of course. It's Tony the Tiger and Frosted Flakes. Yes.
3 men in a boat with cigarettes, but no way to light them. How do they smoke their cigarettes? Do you know?
No.
They throw one man overboard and make the boat a cigarette lighter.
Ah, see, I'm bad.
I don't know.
That was funny.
It was like an actual Batman riddle from the Riddler, an actual Riddler. I've got the Batman soundtrack, and so I like to listen. I like to listen to. They have one, the Riddler, and then they play some Nelson Riddle stuff.
Nelson Riddle.
He was great. That's a great soundtrack on that.
When did that come out?
The soundtrack?
They re-released it or something 10 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I got it. I don't know where I got it, but I've got it. So I've got that CD.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I've got it.
Holy Hole in a Donut is great. Holy Hole in a Donut. And then he kind of leaping lumbago. He'll just like interject in the song. It's very cool.
That's so cool.
Oh God, I love it.
Yeah. The black hole, the big red robot, Maximilian, the clean floating one, Vincent, the beat up one, old Bob. Ah, thank you, Mark C, for the $5 super chat. Answers our questions.
Mark knows his stuff.
He does, man. Oh my God. Jack Random, $10. Astrotheology idea that Christian symbolism matches seasons. After December 22nd, light returns, aka Jesus. Easter equals spring, sun over equator. If science hidden in religion, why not trends of occults in society? Man, I could not agree with you more, Jack. That's you know what, that ExoZone requires lots of research. I can't just willy-nilly that one. I would have to spend a week like getting cracking open some old books, listening to a couple of old Art Bell shows to get ready for that one. I think that would be a good one to do during the day. I really do. I think that for our European friends, to get like down in the weeds with that stuff.
They might be more open to it or something, or just.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's potentially very controversial because it could get somewhat. It's hard to not get political with that. So,
well, it's not really political, but I mean, there are definitely, there's a kind of a concurrence between religion, holidays in Christianity and pagan holidays. Yeah, symbolism and so on. What about John Barleycorn, right? Who is the figure of the harvest, who dies and then arises every year in a symbolism of the crops. So it's not entirely unreasonable to say that there is some cross-pollination between pagan and Christian, symbolism and ideals.
Yeah. And it's just, that's even getting into a cult, it's something I could totally get into. It's just I'd have to warm up to it on my channel.
Yeah, we'd have to research that
because I got to know what I'm talking about on that one. And even if it's just theories and theorizing, and I'm not, I would no problem doing it, but it's just something I don't want to. That one I can't come off all willy nilly on. Okay, Peter Davidson. I think this is the title of the book he sent. Hang on. Yeah, I don't Peter. Okay, so Peter says Max at age 5 in his bedroom / April 16th book. So is that the title of the book, Peter?
Or sent it on April 16th?
He sent it on April 16th. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go and check this week and see if I got it.
Got it. Say hello to Mom for me, Peter. Thank you for the Australian $2. Star Wars for Life, Jeremy's Instagram fan. What is up? How's it going, Stars for Life? $1.99. Hi, Nerdrotic and Doomcock. Great stream. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Star Wars for Life. She's very awesome. She's written me some stuff and just really, really awesome person. Star Wars for Life. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. You are awesome. And it's just, thank you very much for tuning in. And she tweeted out something about us just about an hour ago, I think. Just one of Jeremy's mods, and just a hell of a wonderful person. Thank you, Star Wars for Life.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Yeah, she shouts out all the time. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Peter Davison asks again, Australian $2. Did some cretin steal my book? I don't think so. If you sent it on the 16th, I don't think it's here yet from Australia. So I think it's fine.
Probably so.
Yeah. But we'll Doomcock will let you know.
Yeah, just let me know. Also, you can write me, at Dicktor Van Doomcock at gmail.com, or you can always DM me at Doomcock on Twitter, at Doomcock, very easy to remember. So if you are on my Twitter, if you're on Twitter, follow me or even just DM me. You don't have to even follow me if you don't want to.
Yeah, I follow you.
Well, thank you. I follow you too.
Right,
We
great.
just we're you know we lose each other's tweets though because we're inundated
Yeah.
with you know.
I'm still catching up from vacation, man. I'm just I got
I
home to
know.
like 564 emails. I was like, oh shit. Echo Base Network, $1.99. Nicholas Glenn here. Hail Gary and Doomcock. Nicholas Glenn, what is up, my friend? I dig in your new channel. That is so cool that you started a channel. Good job, man. That is brilliant.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, my friend. Tech Guy, $5. They think the big black spot is an area where aliens are using Dyson Spheres and related tech to harness energy. Long time science can't explain it. Yeah, and I don't see why that is such a strange theory. I think you know what would be strange if there was no life in this gigantic universe. None.
Yeah.
That would be strange. I would think, wow. Then maybe life isn't meant to exist, and maybe we are just a fungi that just a fungi anomaly that is doomed. And I don't like that prospect at all. Like we're mushrooms, you know, and we're going to start a mycelium network.
I don't know. I mean, the black spot, it could be like they said, like a whole, like everything is Dyson capped in that region. It could be a region of space where the dust clouds or whatever are really concentrated. There may have been some kind of cataclysm there that there's just a whole shit. I mean, it's just like a massive amount of particulate matter in that region that is blocking out any light. Or it could actually be some kind of like evil madman like Darkseid that has cloaked that entire region of space to not be observed.
Or it could be a Dyson vacuum cleaner.
A giant one, and it is sucking.
Yes.
It is sucking.
Or that's where Star Trek Discovery is, on another planet. It actually started on another planet, but it sucked in the entire civilization and surrounding star systems.
Yes.
By sucking.
Actually, I know what it is, Gary.
What's that?
I've got it. The universe is indeed holographic, and that spot is a dead pixel.
It's a dead pixel. That's it.
That's what it is. It is not functioning. The hologram is not functioning on that part. It is a dead pixel.
It's just a big hologram.
Yep.
Okay.
You know about that holographic universe.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe that could explain the stars dimming and stuff too. You know, it's just
glitches in the matrix.
Glitches in the matrix. Mark C. Mark C has a $10 super chat. Once I get my window up here, The Black Hole was the last theatrical film in history that gave you a score overture with a blank screen before the movie started. Composer was John Barry. Really?
When did The Black Hole come out?
Late 70s, early 80s, I want to say.
Okay, because I know that, I mean, Star Trek, the motion picture had a score. Well, it wasn't a blank screen, though. That's what he was saying, a blank screen. I mean, it had the score, an overture, but I think it was over like the Paramount Mountain or something like that.
1979, December 21st, 1979.
December 21st?
This 1979 was the release date for The Black Hole.
Well, then it came out after Star Trek, the motion picture.
It did.
Star Trek, the motion picture came out, if my memory serves, and it usually does, on December 5th, 1979.
Oh, The Black Hole premiered at the Odeon Leicester Square, which I've been to in London, on December 18th, 1979. It was then released in the United States on December 21st, 1979. There you go.
That was so cool. I mean, 2001 would do that kind of thing. And I, when I was a kid, I used to go to this movie theater in Austin that had curtains. I mean, it was a huge theater, had curtains, and they would play music, the score before it, and then the curtains would open when they would actually show the movie. You know,
Wow.
I mean, curtains move. I mean, it was cool.
I remember a theater with curtains. I was really young.
Yeah,
Like,
very young.
it was definitely in the 70s, and they pull the curtains.
Yeah,
And that's when you know the movie is about to start. You get all excited because the curtains got pulled. I wish they'd come back with those, but yeah, movie theaters are dying. At the Odeon in Leicester Square, I saw Attack of the Clones.
huh?
And it was, I mean, I'd seen it before, but I needed to kill some time, and I was like, I've been walking around London for a week and a half, and I was tired. I'm like, I'm going to see a movie. And I was weirded out that you had to pick your seat. I was like, what the hell? They don't do this crap in America. You just sit wherever the hell you want. But now we're doing it here too. And I watched Attack of the Clones, and I had to pick my seat, even though there was only 2 other people in there. And I remember walking out going, wow, that sucked. So, yeah. North American Vikinger for $5. Yes, the Christmas wreath is the Yule wreath. Yule wheel of the changing seasons, nature, and the stars were the framework of all beliefs. Zoroastrianism, yes. So is it something like that? That I know a little bit about through Graham Hancock and stuff. And it's the first religion. Yes, North American Vikinger. The first religion was some form of, I don't know if it was worship. Yeah, I guess it was worship. It was star worship. And I think it dates back to, I mean, life depended so much on it. The ancients were obviously obsessed with the stars. They were, I mean, like everything is oriented to constellations, astrology. They don't know how old it is. It's freaking old. Spirals, like Stonehenge, Göbekli Tepe, everything is related to the stars. Now, why? Because I mean, we had to survive on that. That's how we judge the passing of time, plus possibly cataclysms. Comets were a symbol. Always
a harbinger of doom.
A harbinger of doom. Yes.
Cock.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. Here we go. Let's go back to the chat. All demon worship crap. The alignment of the pyramids of Giza is a perfect with Orion's belt. Explain that science. Tecatar, they can't. Robert Braval was the guy who figured that out. And I met him. At Contact in the Desert 2 years ago, and he was the coolest dude. He was waiting for his lecture, and he was just he's waiting outside the hall, right? It's weird. It's hard to explain. In Contact in the Desert, it's held at this. It's like an outdoor convention center. It's weirdly in Indian Wells. So there's a lot of halls. They have a giant outdoor amphitheater, and then there's a bunch of rooms you can go into, but they're all open air because it's freaking hot because you're in the middle of the desert. So Robert Braval's sitting out there, and I don't get starstruck or anything. I saw him, I said hello to him, and I was quietly waiting for his lecture, and he just started chatting me up. And he's all, oh, how's it going? I'm all good. He's all, man, it's like, I've gotten to so many of these. And he just started talking to me for like a half an hour. We had this great conversation. And, I could not be happier. Made the trip worth it completely. And yeah, if you're into these, if you go to Contact, it's in Indian Wells. I'm actually going for the ExoZone in like 2 months. And yeah, you'll see Graham Hancock walking around. You can go talk to him, and our boy Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens. He's he's kind of the one who's brought this all together. All this stuff happens because Art Bell made all of this. Ancient Aliens, everything is because of Art Bell. He doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
He's the one who really brought all these people to the masses. And then they were able to get Ancient Aliens wouldn't exist without Art Bell. So Ancient Aliens brought things even further, and it was Giorgio who produced that and got it together, him and Eric Von Daniken. Man, I met Giorgio when he was living at my friend's house. He was renting a room. He didn't have a ton of money. All I remember, I looked in his room. He had a mattress on the floor, surrounded by books and like incense and shit, like hippie shit. And I met this dude. I'm like, God, this guy's weird. He's like he's a Greek guy from like Norway, but he was really cool. And I did the lighting on a student project for my friend that turned out to be he used it a little bit as his reel and his pitch for Ancient Aliens. Actually, I have it on my reel. My reel's out there somewhere on the internet,
Right.
From 2010 or 11. And yeah, it's weird. It's weird meeting somebody right before they freaking blow up. I mean, like blow up. And he was totally cool when I saw him. He's like, "Hi, Gary." Hopefully I get to see him. I wish you could go to Contact in the Desert. It's pretty fun. There's lecture after lecture, and it's Eric Von Daniken, and a bunch of cool people are going this year.
Would they allow Doomcock in with his mask?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, the people they allow in there, they wouldn't bother you with the mask. Here, I can. Brian Forrester's going to be there. Contact in the Desert.
What about Linda Moulton Howe?
I think she here. I'm going to pull up the lineup right now, and we will see. Here's the speakers. And they do workshops too. So if you pay a little extra, you can get like an intensive with them. And it's really cool. So for the weekend, it's like a couple $100. Hotels, you don't have to stay there. Actually, what I do, because it's near Joshua Tree. If you're in California, you can stay in Palm Springs for pretty cheap. And Palm Springs is like a much nicer place. You can get better food there. The restaurants are great. Palm Springs is a great town for chilling. If you golf, you can golf. I used to golf.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, I did. Something I used to do with my old man, my dad. But
George Norrie. Yeah,
I know.
Eric Von Daniken and Linda Moulton Howe
and
Graham
Linda Moulton
Hancock?
Howe and Graham Hancock.
Holy
the guy,
crap! Richard Dolan.
Richard Dolan, David Adar. That's the guy who's so if you don't recognize him, he is the Mars nuclear war theory guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that is really a very, very convincing argument. And there's Nick Pope, the former MOD in the UK, who came out and talked about their attitude towards UFOs and their hidden stuff. Jacques Vallée, holy crap.
Russell Targ, who is the oh God, I'm blanking on it now. Oh,
he was a pet of Worf's, wasn't he?
He was a pet of Worf. No, he's remote viewing. He's like the king of remote viewing. Okay, so this guy right here, Emery Smith, fraud, total fraud. Clyde Lewis.
Oh, Ground Zero.
There's your boy right there.
There he is. That's Clyde Lewis.
Okay.
Clyde Lewis is fascinating. I don't know if you've ever heard Clyde. I mean, where he goes insane. Sadly, periodically, Clyde Lewis goes nuts. He will abuse callers for no reason, no rational reason. Just all of a sudden, he'll turn into Cornholio. I swear to God, it's the damnedest thing. It's like the guy will be saying, I'm not sure about, your theory about this. He'll say, "Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me?" He will actually and then the guy will try to say, he'll try to speak, and then he'll talk over him. And I've heard some really bizarre things. So, Clyde, I love his show. I love Ground Zero, but he is a weird hothead, and you never know what will set him off.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's very fucking weird. Have you never heard that, Gary?
I haven't, but maybe I'm not listening long enough. What I do is I'll fire his show up and I'll be asleep in like 20 minutes.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
You and me are like, it's like, I feel like we should sing to each other, you know?
We should.
It's like, we're like looking at the same moon, you know?
Yeah.
Somewhere out there. It's just like, you know, we're listening to Clyde Lewis and both going to sleep. I don't know.
Maybe we, yeah.
I don't know.
So Laura Eisenhower. Okay, so the frauds in here, I tell you, because I've seen them at Contact in the Desert. And okay, this is my opinion. These are people who bring the movement down, like to crashing to the ground. If you see these two people, they're just they take things way. So of course Whitley Strieber is gone. Great Whitley Strieber, from Communion.
Sure.
Brian Forster, who is great, by the way. He's got a great YouTube channel, and I love this guy right down here, Hugh Newman. He's a giant guy, but he's also ancient civilization guy. He's really, really good. Travis Walton, Fire in the Sky.
Shit. Yeah. Stephen Bassett.
Yeah, dude, this is really like the best lineup I've seen. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. So I will be there if anybody's going and wants to meet up in Palm Springs or Joshua Tree, hit me up. I don't need to go to every event every day, and we can certainly go have some coffee or something and hang out. But yeah, just to see Linda Moulton Howe and Eric Von Daniken would be, and Graham Hancock. Like Graham's the king, man. Graham's the best. He's the best at what he does. He's him and Richard Dolan are the best ambassadors for ufology and ancient civilizations out there. They come at things very rationally, and you know, like, yeah, they're just really good. Michael Tellinger, I used to really like him, and then he went really not so honest. David Childress. Okay, now I'm happy. David Childress is one of my favorite. He's a guy who talks like this on Ancient Aliens. I really thought it was an ancient alien. Yes, yeah. I don't know where you get an accent like this, but yeah, that looks like a great. So that is May 31st. I love how I'm shilling for him, and I'm not getting anything out of this. But if you get, what are the discount passes? I mean, this aren't cheap. So $260 for the whole, but that's for 5 days. It's a 5-day conference.
God damn, dude.
Yeah. It's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, dude. The one thing that I'm finding out about, like, YouTubing is now, even if it's like if it's a side project, it's still a business that you have to write stuff off on. Okay. Are you planning on doing a podcast from there? I would probably get a few people to come speak with you for a brief interview. Tainted Honor. Yes, absolutely. I'd love it, man. If we can get you to go. I mean, I know it's tough for you to travel. I know it's not easy to get out from the center of the earth. A lot of arrangements have to be made, but it's something we should definitely talk about.
Well, are you just going alone or what?
Yeah, I'm going alone.
Well, if I went, maybe I could crash in your room or something.
Yeah, definitely.
It's possible.
Yeah. I'll probably end up, you probably have privacy, because I'll probably end up renting like a bungalow, or I might have a place. Melissa's, our partner at the salon, has a little place down there.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he might loan it to me for a couple days, as long as I promise. Well, I don't party, so I'm easy to loan stuff to. Psychonaut 59. I agree with you on Wilcox for sure.
I wish Ike was going to be there.
I know. he's
David
not
Icke,
welcome.
He's fascinating.
He is, but he's not welcome. He got painted with that thing that was not fair at all. But yeah, he's persona non grata now. It's too bad. What's up, Ken Jack Ben? How's it going? Why'd you retract that message? You can put it right back up there, man.
I think YouTube does that.
Oh, does YouTube? Did YouTube retract your? Try it again, Ken Jack Ben. Yeah, YouTube does do that once in a while. Sorry, didn't mean to blame you, brother. Dun, 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 dun. We're the new odd couple. Blasted Heath. Dun, 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 dun. Am I Oscar or is Doomcock Oscar?
No, I'm Oscar. I'm Oscar. I'm a fucking slob. I'm a total slob. I do not clean my lair. I have toys everywhere, books, comics everywhere. There are no surfaces that I can, other than like a bed to lay, and even to lay down at night, I have to shift stuff off of the bed. But it's not dead cats and newspapers. It's toys, comics, books. So it's not like the kind of hoarder with pizza boxes. It's not unsanitary, but it is extraordinarily cluttered because I have so many things I love. Too many Robbie the Robots everywhere. I see a Robbie the Robot I don't have. I have to get it, even though it's the same damn robot. I don't know.
I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I used to be pretty anal. But marrying Mrs. Nerdrotic has cured me of that.
So you would have been Felix.
I would have been Felix. Yeah, I would have been Felix. I mean, just like, what kind of insane mind puts this many action figures on the wall?
Well, they're very orderly, which I admire the hell out of, actually.
10 years ago, I would have measured perfectly. I would have had my tape measure out, and they would have to be 3 inches apart, 1 inch, and like, yeah, I've gone a long way. So,
oh dear, and I'd be, what difference does it make, Felix? Just put them up there.
Up there, yeah.
For God's sakes, don't you want to get them down and play with them? Oh. Dusting them every day. It's like, but I'm a slob, so I'm Oscar for sure.
I dust them once every 6 months. I have an alarm set, and when the channel goes dark for a day, that's dusting day, which is
That was a good show, actually.
I was 007 Cloud, $2. I want to see it. Okay, he says, you guys seen Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix? It looks pretty amazing.
It does. It's just like every time I go on Netflix, I'm looking for something else. Right now, I'm trying to finish up the Vietnam War so that I can have my extreme Apocalypse Now fest, which is I am going to go deep in Apocalypse Now. I'm going to watch the regular cut. I'm going to watch the extended cut. I'm going to watch the regular cut with the commentary. I'm going to watch Hearts of Darkness all in a day. I'm just going to go like,
wow.
you can't like go to the moon on a fraction, man. He's okay in his mind, but his soul is insane. I'll be like Saigon shit. I'll be like insane at that point.
Well, what's the oh my God, what was the cut that they re-released a decade ago where they put in the scene with the French villa,
the French plantation and the feast? It is Apocalypse Now redo.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't like it. I tried. I didn't like it at all.
It's not as good. It was smart to cut. It was smart, but he was insane. Coppola at that point truly was going nuts. I mean, when he directed that scene with the French meal, I mean, he was like saying, the wine must be served at this temperature and the food must be like exactly like this. I mean, he was going nuts.
Yeah, I think he was in drugs.
He was, but the original cut is the cut. And I have so many different DVD copies of that film, by the way.
It's one of the greatest movies ever fracking made.
And they have different extras and stuff. Like I got this one that was like the dossier or something. And I still haven't listened to it. There's certain extras on these things that I haven't watched because they're too good. Like it took me forever to finally watch the Blade Runner extra footage on the Blu-ray that actually was about 4. It was all this narration and stuff and shots that were cut out of Blade Runner. And it actually has the effect of almost being like a 40-minute alternate cut of Blade Runner that you've never seen. And when I started to see what it was, and I had a different title sequence and everything, I got a chill and I backed away. And I said, no, not now. Not now. Yeah. I had to wait. It took like a couple of years. And then I finally said, okay, I'm going to watch this. But on this Apocalypse Now cut, it has Marlon Brando singing, reciting The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot, the entire poem, a 17-minute like recital of the entire poem that he did on the set,
to hear that would be brilliant.
And I was like, oh geez, but I haven't watched it yet because like you cannot just go into that.
I saw a snail crawling on a razor blade. Just fucking loved him. I loved him in that. I'm sorry, but for me, I know he's been in a million things, but that was the best thing for me. Even more than his little scene in there, his moment, that build up to Colonel Kurtz was so brilliant because it paid off. I love that movie.
Oh, it is fucking brilliant. And Coppola, see, that's the thing. Look, I always talk about on the ExoZone. We talk about this all the time. I talk about it, that the universe, all of existence, is one unified consciousness, and synchronicities are like trains of thought in that consciousness. So a lot of times, even the filmmakers are merely manifesting that consciousness so that when things work out better than what they planned, and they think it's a disaster at the time, but it's actually brilliant. When Brando showed up grossly overweight and out of shape, and Coppola was like, this is a disaster. This is a fucking disaster. This is because Kurtz was supposed to be this military guy. No, it was genius. And it threw him in a tizzy, and he had to do all these like endless improv sessions, just rolling film with Brando. What is the bloodlust? You hear Coppola say, the bloodlust. And he like sucks on some food. The bloodlust is something that, and he'll go on and just improv, And when he improv all that stuff, like the thing about the vaccinations, and we came back a week later and all the arms had been cut off. And there was this pile of these little inoculated arms. And I realized at that point the genius of these people, that we would never defeat them. And it's just like, you can't write that, man. It's so much better than Milius's like script calling for an airstrike and all this crap.
Yep.
And Martin Sheen, the image of Martin Sheen, like he's like coming up out of the water with those mad eyes, and he's painted, and the lightning is flashing. This is the end. I mean, Jesus.
Yep.
God, it's like
or
genius.
Martin Sheen having the freaking nervous breakdown in the room that was real because he was coming off of booze and drugs and been there too long, and like everything came out emotionally. Yeah, it's just. And I love his wife. I love Coppola's wife, who's now her Heart of Darkness documentary. If you haven't seen it, is brilliant. It is. Sophia. Yeah.
No. His wife.
I mean, that's his wife. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. But she is so weird. Like, she narrates it, and she's talking about that scene, and she's got footage from, behind the scenes of Martin Sheen, like drinking and on his birthday. It was on his birthday. And he's in that room, and she says, there was a real, she talks in this monotone and this really kind of weird, sweet voice that doesn't ever change. And she said, there was an air of great violence in the air that he might attack Francis at any moment. It was thrilling watching Francis take such chances with his life. And it's like,
hey, Mrs. Nerdrotic has done her hair.
Wow.
Mrs. Coppola. Yes.
Wow. He treated her like shit.
Oh yeah.
He cheated on her. Oh my God. When that like typhoon hit on that island, and it completely destroyed the sets and everything was going to hell. He was holed up in a hotel room with a porn star. Francis Ford Coppola was. And the madness that ensued at that time is exemplified by the fact that the crew and the actors at that point broke into his room and grabbed him naked off the bed. The only thing he could just grab a sheet, and they went to the balcony and threw him over the edge into the pool while this this fucking typhoon is going on. They knew he was in there with the porn star, and I don't know. They were going crazy.
And just keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to state the obvious. These are the people who come out and tell us, the current regime. It's not Francis Ford Coppola, but that kind of stuff is still happening in Hollywood. But these are the people, when they get out in front of the camera, talk about how they want to see less white dudes reviewing movies and stuff like that. But yeah, these are the people telling us this.
Well, is it anymore, or is that dead? I don't know.
I don't know.
Those were the good old days, though.
I know the, well, it's just a different beast. I mean, I know the Vicodin and the oxycodone is flowing in Hollywood like it's been for the last few years. So let's get to a couple. On that note, hey, Mythos Irving, Canadian $5. Hi, Nerdrotic. Well, hello, Mythos. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for the Canadian $5 super chat donation. It is good to see you here in the ExoZone. In the ExoZone. 007 Cloud, thanks again for the $2 super chat. Yeah, that is, I need to see Love, Death, and Robots. I do. Mark C,
I do too.
Mark C wants to know, is Doom Hoarder $2? Doom Hoarder? Are you a hoarder? No.
Well, I am a collector. I am a collector, and I want to know everything is the problem. So every time I go to a bookstore or something, I bring home a pile of books. I have a backlog. I have enough to last me the rest of my life, but I'm curious about everything. I want to know everything. I want to read everything. I want to be omniscient. So I collect books, comics, CDs, DVDs. I'm manic about like going through like the, discount DVDs and padding out my collection because I believe in physical media, because I don't believe in the streaming anymore. I don't, God knows what they will, do in the future to our films. So, in my own defense, I mean, a lot, I've got, oh my God, so many DVDs now that I found such incredible things. Like I found the whole Godfather saga for $3.
Yeah. And buy that stuff up. I was just talking about that yesterday with Bulls Trek, the other YouTuber. He's really into physical media too. And yeah, I brought you up because even if it's a DVD, it doesn't have to be Blu-ray or anything. Buy it, especially if what Doomcock just got for $3, because there might be a time where there's a rights issue and you won't be able to see that anywhere.
Right.
That could happen. And even the stuff you technically own from like Ultraviolet or something like that, that could go away.
It can. I'm sure in the user agreement, it says that much.
Yep.
So I really gather that stuff. The other day, I was actually at Walmart of all places. I found a Blu-ray copy of Heavy Metal for like $5. Blu-ray Heavy Metal. How cool is that?
That's brilliant. I need to find that too. God damn it. How much was it? Sorry, my
like $5.
Dang.
I know, like a Blu-ray is just in the bin. And also I got the whole Indiana Jones like 4-disc set for $3. So I'm just like,
that's killer.
I know, man. I was excited.
No, I'm glad I invest. I have my regionless DVD and Blu-ray player, and I have to, once in a while it breaks down. I have a backup, and I bought a couple. They're $100 each. There's not super cheap, but it's good to have because I'm finding a lot of the better Blu-rays are in the UK now and Europe, and they don't even make them available here.
Oh man,
like Doctor Who stuff is impossible to find here now. I mean, like that's old. So yeah, I got a regionless player and started buying stuff from Australia and stuff. It's much better.
That's what I need. And in the chat, all your UK fans and all my UK fans, I am desperate to find the Sweeney and Sweeney 2. I'm talking about the movies. I bought the entire series on DVD and I worked my way through it, the Sweeney. But I cannot find anywhere the goddamn movie, the Sweeney and Sweeney 2. So if anybody has access to those and could post them or put them on YouTube or send me a copy, something, you would have my gratitude because I really want to see them.
Yeah. I made a very bad decision yesterday. I decided I want all the, I have all the Doctor Who episodes that are available digital. I mean, I have them on a hard drive. But
wow.
I want them all physical now. It's a rabbit hole. I'm gonna
be
well, it'll take me-
expensive.
it's gonna be well, yeah. A lot of that stuff is collector's items now. It's gonna take me years, but it's something to do. I don't need everything at once. It's fine. North American Vikinger, $2 community meetup day at the House on the Rock, like the one from American Gods. That would be cool. If we could all get there, that'd be great. I think I'm so pissed. I missed the Star Wars celebration. I don't give a crap, but I mean, yeah, I do give a crap about all the money I lost, but that's a once in a lifetime to meet all those YouTubers and stuff. That sucked, man. Oh, poor kid got sick. Mythos Irving, Canadian, $20. But now a meetup at some point. I will be at Comic-Con. I can do a meetup in San Diego. I'll do a meetup at in Palm Springs. I'll do a meetup at the Star Trek convention in Vegas. Yeah. So Mythos Irving, Canadian, $20. Just came from Yellow Flash's stream. Oh, what's up, Yellow Flash? We were voting on fan memes about the Kick Vic situation. Tug kept voting, so I super chatted, Tug, you cheated, you asshole. He died laughing. Well, hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, Mythos. So, and Tug's a hell of a YouTuber, and so is Yellow Flash. And it's a very memeable situation, to be honest with you. It's getting more memeable as the days go by. But yeah, stand with Vic. Yep. Until there's evidence, man. And there is none. And it's good that the man's defending himself, and we'll find out. Discovery is a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing. That's why a lot of lawsuits don't really happen because of discovery. Because they crawl up your ass. So Jack Random, $2. Crypto animals, terrestrial or dimensional portal? Great question. Doomcock. Bigfoot, dimensional or terrestrial?
I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that it might be dimensional because we just really don't have a whole lot of proof. How would they elude us? How would they go so long undetected with all of our technology and everything else? I may well be dimensional beings that slide through. And in fact, Nicholas Glenn told me a wonderful story the other day about something similar, about a being that may have slid. They may have witnessed this, a being sliding between dimensions. And someday he will probably share that with us.
I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear that.
It was something.
I remember when Art started talking about the shadow people.
Right.
And once he brought that up, the influx of calls that brought in, and listen, I remember it distinctly. It was right at the turn of the century. It was at 99, 98. He started bringing up, he's all shadow people as a subject that started because I saw one. He talked about one he saw. And then a friend of mine, a good friend of mine who I like one of the most honest people I've ever met in the program, in the AA and NA program, told me his shadow person story, which is freaky as hell. I'll try to get him on to talk about it because I can't tell it as well as he was in bed, and somebody, a shadow person, came into his room. It was vivid as hell, and the way he tells the story was and it's weird how I had never heard that ever anywhere of the shadow people. And then when Art Bell brought it up, phone call after phone call after phone call. And and that's the theory, is basically it's interdimensional, it's maybe another dimension phasing through or something. And it's trippy, man. But as far as cryptos being dimensional, Skinwalker Ranch, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I would either it's supernatural, just straight up supernatural, or it's extra dimensional. But something weird is going on. It's like a nexus over there.
Yeah, it's like God. Hang on a second. I'm gonna get the name here. So okay, so it's like Skinwalker Ranch is kind of like Sakaar from Thor Ragnarok. which is the planet that was also used in Planet Hulk. But in Thor Ragnarok, it's basically a planet that's at the end of all these portals where all this trash comes in from the universe. That's kind of what Skinwalker Ranch is. It's a, if anybody watched the show Castle Rock, that's what Skinwalker Ranch is. It's a place where time and space, there's just a flaw in the fabric of time and space. So time gets distorted there. Reality gets distorted there. People get caught in time loops and stuff in that show. And that's kind of it didn't explain the effing ending of that show, but
I didn't watch it because Jar Jar Abrams was involved. And as you know, I skip anything that idiot writes or has anything to do with.
You did yourself a favor because it was really building up to something. And there was like Sissy Spacek gave like a great performance. And then it went at the end, you're like, huh? And then I went, oh, JJ Abrams got me again. I'm an idiot. So I blame myself. On that one.
You're telling me that a Jar Jar Abrams project built to an exciting pitch and then completely let you down?
I know.
I cannot fucking believe it.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. That worthless. I hate Jar Jar Abrams. He is a worthless charlatan. He is a snake oil salesman of the 21st century. He is worthless, people. Don't watch Jar Jar Abrams shit. Boycott episode 9, for God's sake. Yes.
So Mythos Irving for Canadian $10 asks, how good at fellatio is Brie? She should have been fired by now. The whole cast hates her. That's a good question. I think she's got pictures more than anything. Maybe there's allegedly some Me Too stuff going on with Kevin. Maybe there's no explanation. I think the reality of it though, Mythos, is they hired somebody based on an Academy Award. They probably didn't do a ton of vetting on how she is in public because she probably hadn't had a lot of press appearances prior to this. And they're seeing it now. And well, to get rid of her would be, well, listen, her movie just made $1 billion. So that's what they're going to say, $1 billion all the time. $1 billion. Well, you know what? A lot of crap has made a lot of money. So I think we'll see how she does. They'll probably give her a couple movies. If she's acting like this 2 or 3 movies in, maybe we'll get a change, especially if it starts negatively affecting their coffers. But honestly, they can't be happy with how she acts.
I hope not. And it's on all of us to walk the earth like Martha walking the earth, spreading the story about the doctor. We all need to be out there saying, without respect, we reject. We need to be spreading our message across the earth that she is garbage, that all this woke shit needs to die. If we do not, then if they take over, we have only ourselves to blame. We have to resist, people. We have to say no to this shit. And we have to say it vocally and spread it. We have to spread this meme.
Yep. Oh my God. I love that. I love season 3. I know some people don't like Martha. I loved Martha.
Yeah, and she was good.
I have some horrible news to give all you people. I'm researching this because it might be just somebody doing it on their own and it has nothing to do with the production of season 12, but some Vote Saxon signs have been seen in Cardiff. So if Jodie's doctor is going there, if they're going to intrude season 3 of Tennant's era, go to the old master, have the Vote Saxon stuff, even tread into Russell T. Davies territory. Dude, I'll have a video. I'll have 4 videos a day on the subject. I will go ballistic. But yeah, that popped up, that some Vote Saxon stuff. If you're a Doctor Who fan, if you don't know Doctor Who, you don't know what I'm talking about. But Vote Saxon was something that was in season 3 of Russell T. Davies' era of Doctor Who. David Tennant with Martha as the companion, and it had something to do with the master. And yes, these Vote Saxon things have popped up recently. Now it could be just somebody making Vote Saxon things, and that's probably what it is. But you never know. Mark C gives us some horrible news that I believe it, but I mean, this is what we're talking about. Protecting our modern mythology. Doomcock has been talking about it forever. I've been talking about it forever. Mark C, $2. Disney is editing the crows out of Dumbo.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Oh my God. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I won't have to go see Dumbo, and that's another reason I hope you guys have Dumbo on DVD or Blu-ray or video, VHS, whatever. Make copies of it, whatever. This is terrible. Jesus Christ. Wow.
Yeah. Mythos Irving, Canadian $10. I love that umbrella guy. He will defend we will defend Lug against blue orca attacks. Ren going after Tug's daughter. Yeah, which is nasty as hell. That he might hire the beard, fear the beard, Ty Beard, of course. Also, good luck, Gary, collecting Doctor Who. Thank you. Ty Beard, I've seen him on Nick Rekieta. If I ever have tortious interference, that would be the guy I go to for sure. And he's damn entertaining on those live streams. So that umbrella guy's a YouTuber who criticizes. He doesn't do stuff unlike what Doomcock does and I do. He critiques comics. He got his start breaking down numbers, like doing something ultra nerdy. He IDW is a comic company that is publicly traded, so you can have access to their numbers. And he used IDW to show the health of the comic industry, which there was no health at all. It was dying. So he criticized comics, and because he criticized certain type of comics, he got it was part of the Comicsgate thing. He has been horribly harassed. He has a daughter that I believe they were doing a project, and it got people attacked that, which kids are off limits. People, I guess, well, not to certain people, I guess. As far as Ren, the Ren you speak of, Renfamous, in my opinion, she is a hired op. And there might be some evidence to that. That's just my opinion, which is just basically a hired troll.
Yeah.
And I think somebody or something has hired her, or some organization. That's just my thoughts.
Why target him though? I don't know.
Because he's been in the doing videos on Vic, on the subject of Vic Mignogna. I can't pronounce his last name right. I'm sorry.
I think that's it.
Him and Rekieta Law and Yellow Flash have been doing a lot of videos on the subject and covering it pretty damn well, in my opinion. And sometimes when you get, I don't know, sometimes when you get too close to the truth, some people don't like it. They've got the balls enough to report on this stuff a lot, because it's a very touchy subject. And they have been like, they nutted up and they reported on this a lot. And I think they've done a lot of work, and they've been, especially when you go against the grain, they're very anti SJW NPC, and they've been doing good work. But that puts you out there for attack. And Tug's he's had his life threatened. People have called his work. I mean, like, I complain about a little copyright strike. It's nothing compared to what that dude's going for. And if somebody ever went after my kid, he's being he's being a gentleman about it, and he's defending himself. I'm sure he doesn't like this shit, and I wouldn't either. But I don't know. I'm kind of psycho dad when somebody goes after my kid, so I don't know. I support Tug all the way, man. So I hope this shit gets dealt with soon for him, and he can just go back to I don't know. He knows what he's getting into though, so that's the thing, is like, and he's not going to back down from this shit. Just from, I mean, I've been listening to him for a long time, so he can handle it, man. He's a man. So at least it's not Ram Ranch. What's Ram Ranch? That sounds like a bad place to go. Ram Ranch. Canadian $2 from Mythos Irving. And Jar Jar made it. It is a ram ranch. Jar Jar sucks. I asked this question. Were you? I don't think you were on the live stream. I asked the question, like, Jar Jar gets Spielberg money, Doomcock.
Yeah.
What has he done to earn it? Like, what movie, what classic film has he done? Like, he hasn't the best.
Nothing.
I mean, like,
Nothing.
Nothing. Like, the guy's done nothing. He's made a couple of seasons of decent TV with Alias and Fringe.
That all ended badly.
Yep.
Fringe actually, well, it wasn't that, it didn't really end badly. You know, that's kind of like an anomaly. And he even had Akiva Goldsman working on it. But it actually wasn't all that bad when you get right down to it. But in general, that's the exception that proves the rule. Everything else I've ever seen that Jar Jar Abrams did just died, you know.
And Bad Robots got their fingers in so many things through Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman. I mean, Akiva Goldsman is in charge of the Picard show, in charge of Titans on the DC universe. Alex Kurtzman is in charge of well, I don't know how much he's in charge now, to be honest with you. It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was
I hope not. I hope that is drawing to an end.
Well, I think Michelle Paradise is just another. I mean, like, that's all. Yeah. Hopefully it's drawing to an end, because Bad Robot has their tentacles and everything, and they're not good. Not like tentacle porn.
No. They're like, I don't know, mediocrity porn, if there's such a thing. You know, there's just like, you know, abomination porn, perverting franchises in an obscene way. I think that basically is it.
Yep. All right, let's get to the chat here. No evidence of cryptids. What about the supposition that they are prescient, or they are at least aware of observation, thus they won't allow people to record evidence of their existence? Prescient?
Yeah, prescient.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I mean, Makili Mabembe is allegedly a dinosaur. I don't think that they're generally savvy about taping equipment. So I don't know if I buy that. You know, Bigfoot, I don't know. Bigfoot may be, I think that there's a level of intelligence on Bigfoot. I mean, I think that they've actually been alleged to be intelligent. So there's a little bit more believability there that they might be concealing or hiding or extra dimensional in some way. I don't know. What do you think?
That's a tough one. I think I go back. I've talked about this before. I go back and forth on Bigfoot, but the gorillas in the mist has always been the best example. The woman who found those gorillas up there, and for the longest time, people thought they were up there, but nobody even knew. And there's a Sigourney Weaver's in a movie about it, and these gorillas were thought to not to have existed.
Right. Goodall, wasn't it? Jane Goodall?
Yeah. And they found them, and you know, and these jungles, and especially up here near me, if you go north in California, there is thousands of square miles of places where no man has set foot, supposedly. That just forest forever. And I could see something existing in there. Plus, Bigfoot has been seen so many places all around the world. There's got to be something to it. I mean, like, I don't, you know, there's got to be something to it. It's just weird.
I agree. It's not just out of the blue, you know.
No,
but as to the nature of these things, I don't know.
No, that's the trickiest thing. But there's going to be like a point where, you know, I mean, kind of like Nessie, you know what I mean? Like I don't, unfortunately, I'm with you. I don't believe in Nessie anymore. There's just no way. There's been too many frauds. Here, I got a little bit of UFO. Let me turn the sound down on this. We'll see if this is any good. Oh yeah, there you go. There's your triangle.
Triangle filmed in Texas.
Over San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Over your house, Comics Division. I saw you in the chat.
Look at that, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, a government craft or aliens?
I
don't think it's a government craft.
I don't think so.
I think it's BS. I think that they've filed these patents or something to make people believe it might be a government craft.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, like, oh, all these things. This is like a predominant form, so let's go ahead and patent this stuff and let it leak, and then people will say, "Aha, they've got it." I don't know though. It's impossible.
This is seen everywhere. This is starting to be seen everywhere. So if it's a government craft, you think, listen, guys, we see this shit everywhere. So if you have this, if we can just float. Now, I know some of the rumors out there is this is some form of balloon or some crap like that. No. But this is one of the best videos I've seen on it, honestly. You can see, because you see it turn a little bit. And this is from MUFON, and I should go to the MUFON site. We should mine that for ExoZone just to see. It's weird though. Going to like contact in the desert and stuff, and you talk to these people giving lectures, you find all the dirt, and apparently in the UFO community there is just tons of infighting. Like, it's just egos, and they talked about it on the Skinwalker Ranch documentary on how that Bob Bigelow, that billionaire, offered $1 million to invest in UFO research. The only condition he put on it was, you guys need to get along. And it's funny hearing Richard Dolan, the very calm Richard Dolan, talk about it. He's all, they fucked it up. He's all, they couldn't get it together to get this $1 million. They fucked it up. Oh, no, it's George Knapp who said that.
Wow.
That's brilliant. That's cool as hell. I'll look at that one more time.
Man,
there, it's turning right there.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely there. And
Yep.
I don't think it's a hoax.
No, it goes behind a little, like a little cloud there. You can see it focus on the phone when we come in right here. It like, oh, maybe it was earlier in the video. Hang on. It guys kind of goes out of focus and comes back in. There, right there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
That is. Good call. I'm sure we'll see Tyler put it up sometime.
It'll be all Tyler. How Tyler starts every video. I'm sorry I've been away for a while, guys. I've got insomnia and shit. And here's a video.
Yeah, well,
he's got a little lisp when he talks. Listen, I love Tyler.
Oh, I love Secure Team. They're awesome.
Yeah, and I can't imagine. Like, yeah, it's weird. I can't imagine having millions of subscribers. Too. Like,
no,
you'd have to hire help. I feel like I'm at that point right now. It's like, wow, it's a great problem to have, believe me, but I've never experienced anything like this, so I don't kind of know what to do sometimes. I just I take it in little small bits. Anytime I get overwhelmed by something, I'm like, today I'll sit down and I'll answer 10 DMs on Twitter and 10 emails, and I'll take a break, you know.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I need to set some kind of limits. I'm just wildly swinging between obligations and trying to, get things out, and it's difficult.
Oh yeah, especially when you're recording videos and you're editing, that takes hours. So
yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna I know you're supposed to read every super chat, but I'm gonna kind of elaborate. Well, use my own wording for this just to be safe. But Mythos Irving, thank you for the Canadian $5 super chat. So he says a ram ranch is a place for exactly what you think a place called a ram ranch would be called, and it's not a ranch for rams, for like the animals. So it's a ranch for yo backdoor man or woman, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
little doors there. David Stalker, thank you, Mythos. David Stalker, $10. Classic supernatural is science fiction knowledge not yet understood. If we only had mechanisms for real dimensional transfer or viewing, so many crypto super science natural cases might get solid leads.
Yeah.
And that's what it might be. As time goes on, we're going to be figuring out, there might be stuff out there we don't want to figure out, you know?
Right.
And that turns back to the question of the reality of UFOs. And I think about this too much, but I do. I definitely believe they exist. I believe we are not alone in this universe, but the reality of us being visited, it hasn't really sunk in with me. I believe it, but it's like, maybe it's a percentage. It's not 100%.
Right.
And it's only because I haven't seen it with my own eyes yet. But I do sit and wonder, like, what happens if this happens during our lifetime, if like Oumuamua comes back and says, yeah, we're on our way. We're going to colonize you or something like that. Like, like what would happen? Like, whoa, that make for
that would be bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know, since they haven't made any moves like that. I don't think it's probably coming. I don't know. I don't see any hostile intent or whatever constraints there are on some races that may be hostile. They're still there. I don't know. It's just weird. It's very perplexing that they haven't contacted us. Maybe they're just not interested. They have nothing to say to us.
Yeah, maybe we're just insignificant,
Yeah.
Mythos Irving again for a Canadian $20. Thank you, Mythos. Flat earthers are silly. They are. R.I.P. Eddie Bravo. Even Alex Jones knows the earth is an orb. Yes. Alex Jones is woke to the truth. Brother. Alex Jones.
What the hell? I didn't know Eddie Bravo died.
Yeah. Did he die?
Well, this is R.I.P. Eddie Bravo. And I've seen him on Joe Rogan's stuff. So I don't know. What happened? It's part of the quickening.
He looks like he's still alive. Is it just R.I.P. because does he believe the earth is flat? Is he a flat earther?
Maybe sort of just intellectually Eddie Bravo is dismissed. He is intellectually dead to you, maybe.
Yeah, because I was just on the other side of the planet recently, and there's a thing called a time difference, and the sun is up over there when it's not over here where I am now because the earth is round. Yeah. And I was in a plane and you can see that the earth is round. Yeah.
Well, actually the sun is a spotlight, Gary, and it moves around like it shines in a path over the earth.
Oh, okay.
Because we cannot trust our senses because the deity wanted to fool us because it's a trickster deity. And so all the actual observed laws of nature are really cruel tricks by some ultimate trickster. Either that or the earth is round.
Or the earth is round.
That'd be a simpler explanation, but who knows, right? It's just idiotic. The whole flat earth thing. There's no even point even in talking about it. It's just pointless.
I just like to think it's a group of people trolling everybody, and because I just don't want to believe that people actually believe that, but they do. The DJD show. What is up, my good friend and wrench? $2. Hail Nerdrotic and Doomcock. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. It's still Easter for me. For some of y'all, it's not Easter anymore.
That's right.
It's 11 o'clock here in the West Coast. Cleve Bourbon for $5. Yesterday, I watched a video where Gary had where Gary had no beard and Doomcock was called Thunder Dick. What? Mandela effect.
Mandela effect, I guess.
I like Thunder Dick. Somebody needs to take that handle. Doomcock and Thunder Dick. Sounds like it sounds like Tango and Cash.
That's right, a buddy detective show.
Yeah. We like have like you've got a match hanging out of your mask that you're chewing on, and I'm chewing on a toothpick, and we both have we have like a Camaro and aviator glasses on, and mullets, and you have a mullet outside of your mask, and we are in a Stephen J. Canal production, and we're teaming up with Simon and Simon. Yes, that is happening. I love Simon and Simon, by the way. Thank you, Cleve. There are videos with me with no beard on this channel, unfortunately. So when I got the job at Tesla, or when I heard I was going to get the job at Tesla, I had a big, long, scraggly beard. It was longer than this, and I went to go trim it, and I screwed up, so I just shaved my beard for the job interview. Man, I was so pissed when I did that. And I walked in for the interview, and I walk in the front room, and there's a dude with a giant beard. I'm like, mother cracker. Yeah. So my Star Wars Last Jedi review, I don't have a beard. Just be ready for that. Don't unsub. Mythos Irving for Canadian $2. Flat, goddamn it, keyboard. It's okay, and no need to apologize here. Ask Doomcock. I'm the worst speller and messenger of them all. Jack Random, $5. Gary worked for organization that did Indian consultation here in Wyoming. There are areas they said they will not go into. Google Wyoming Dinwoody art. Google Wyoming. Okay, I'll Google that right now.
Huh.
I got time.
Interesting.
Ooh. Oh, that's cool. Okay, hang on. And we're gonna get this up. So it's like rock art, and it is very interesting. I love this stuff.
Oh, nice. Good stuff.
So one of my moms, I have two moms, long story, not lesbians, was a park ranger at Grand Canyon for many years. And she's really into this stuff, and she knows where all the rock art is and all the weird caves are in New Mexico and stuff. She took me to see stuff like this in New Mexico. Yeah, that is interesting. Wow, it's really, for one, it's beautiful. It's really cool looking.
Yeah, those are some awesome drawings. Really good.
That's awesome. That's good. So the Hopi Indians, Graham Hancock talks about this, and we can bring this in. I'll go into Piri Reis after this. Graham Hancock's next book is about the lost cultures of America, and it's getting theorized now. It is believed largely by archaeology, but this is about to be, it's already outdated, that the Clovis culture was pretty much the first culture here in the Americas. They came through the Bering Strait, which was the Bering Land Bridge, and they came from, Eurasia and stuff like that. Well, it's turning out that there's been people here all along. Like, nobody came over here. Like, there were people here all along. They found some evidence recently in San Diego when they were digging up the 56 freeway. I know exactly. It's a freeway that's near Del Mar. And they found a mastodon bone. They found mastodon bones with tool marks on it that dates back 100,000 years. So previously to that, they thought man was in the Americas 12,000 years. So Graham Hancock, I'm going to nutshell this. This will be the Reader's Digest version. Basically believes the Atlantis theory is true, but it is that the whole Atlantis myth came from a mother culture, a giant advanced culture that was world traveling prehistory, that was wiped from the map due to a cataclysm, and that survivors from this culture retaught us how to farm cities and stuff. So that's where Mesopotamia came from. It wasn't the first culture, it was just restarted culture. Restarted civilization. So there was a mother civilization that the Atlantis theory is based on. It wasn't necessarily, or it might have been, Atlantis might have been a city, but it was a civilization. This is Graham Hancock's belief. It wasn't one that could like fly to the moon, but they were advanced enough that they could circumnavigate the globe and map the globe pretty damn perfectly. So he equated it to like a late 1800s civilization. That's how advanced they were. And they were wiped from the map due to a pieces of a comet hitting Earth 12,000 years ago, which ended the ice age for a brief period geologically, 1,000 years. It's called the Younger Dryas, where the ice age ended and then restarted 1,000 years later. Wow. He believes these comets came from the it's not TARDIS. I want to say TARDIS every time. Turrids. The Turrids meteor stream. It's a meteor shower that we get twice a year. That is the tail of an ancient comet that we fly through twice a year. It's a very dangerous thing, turns out, because those little meteors, there are some big ones.
Right.
And so we are in danger. He equates it to us crossing the freeway twice a year with a blindfold on. So I think we are in one of those times right now. So it's March, April, and then it's September. We go through it again. It was during that period, he believes, pieces of a comet came down, hit the North American ice shelf, caused a major flood by flash melting a 2-mile deep ice shelf in like overnight, literally. And it like just this giant flooded the western, almost the entire United States, and the part that wasn't flooded caught on fire and it just burned. So 12,000 years ago, we lost over 150 species of megafauna, which is anything over 150 pounds died. We had 4 species of elephant that used to be in America. Mastodons, giant woolly rhinos. It is previously believed that man hunted them which is, if you think about it, it's pretty ridiculous, because back then there was like hundreds of thousands of men and there was millions and millions and millions of these animals.
God.
So they couldn't have, not with these little sticks. And they have found woolly mammoths and stuff flash frozen by the hundreds in Siberia in the permafrost. They are to this day still pulling out tusks, ivory tusks, and they have been doing this for 200 years. For 200 years, they have been the ivory trade. I'll show you a picture, a representation of like how many tusks these are not elephant tusks, by the way. These are mammoth tusks. These are extinct animals that used to be part of the ivory trade, and ivory used to be used for freaking everything back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Ivory trade warehouse 1800s, and usually there is a drawing, a representation of a warehouse in the UK that has, is that an actual picture? Yep. Here you go, folks. Man. Look at that. That's a warehouse.
And those are all mammoth tusks?
Mammoth tusks that they have been pulling these out of Siberia for 200 years. They have found like just mounds of bones, just bones. So they were all washed up and killed in one place. There's a, God damn it, I can't remember, someplace in Greece. There's a cave where a bunch of megafauna was washed into this cave in a time where they believed the Mediterranean Sea was completely flooded. And then there's also the Mediterranean Sea, which I was just right next to a couple short weeks ago, has over 200 sunken cities in it. They are at minimum 10,000 years old, because that was the last time the water level was that low due to the ice age. So a lot of evidence is being put together by Graham Hancock. I'm not doing it justice talking about it here, but his new book is coming out, and it's centered in the Americas, and it's through his research with Randall Carlson. he's been finding out that there was a giant civilization here that nobody knows about, that could have had its own language. We know dick about it because the settlers, when this place was settled, I don't know, when did you first hear about burial mounds, Doomcock?
Oh God, I don't know.
Did you
I've
hear
not
about it
really been
elementary
up that
school,
much
or?
on burial mounds in North America, so I don't know. Probably a couple of years ago, really.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it the first time, I think around 15 years ago. Like,
Okay.
I never learned about it in school, never heard about it in school.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm old, they might teach it now, but like never heard about it. And then I thought, well, they were kind of few and far between. And now I find out these burial mounds were fracking everywhere. Like everywhere. So there's one here in the Bay Area called Shell Mound that they wiped out for a parking lot for a mall. And yeah, it turns out these mounds were that's how they buried their dead. They built this big earthen mound, and and there was treasures in there. They all got looted over, by the settlers and wiped out. So a major part of our history was completely wiped out. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And the politics behind this is very interesting. When I used to hear that there was some kind of conspiracy by the Smithsonian and government to suppress certain history, I used to think that was balderdash. I was like, no, come on. Why would you suppress history? That's ridiculous. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Until you hear it presented in certain ways.
Right.
So the cataclysm theory, the reason so many scientists are against really looking into it was so taboo 10 years ago. It's less now because there's younger scientists coming in. It's because it kind of debunks part of the climate debate. So Graham Hancock comes out and says, hey, this isn't any reason, like, we shouldn't start throwing trash outside of our cars. We should still look into finding electric cars and, cleaning up Mother Earth and all that crap. But it turns out that the Earth can rebound pretty quick from a cataclysm, geologically speaking. Okay. So
Right.
Extinction level event that damn near wiped out all of humanity and a bunch of animal species forever 12,000 years ago is like a blip.
Yeah. That's absolutely true.
And it happened.
And I'm worried we might be due for another one.
Yeah. And it turns out we're due for these. They happen quite often. And it turns out that the Earth rebounds pretty quick, a lot quicker than they think. So, I mean, it still wipes everybody out. Don't get me wrong, but the Earth tends to be pretty resilient. So, something like that can happen where something hits the North American ice shelf that causes it caused both nuclear winter and then the greenhouse effect right after that. And, it's a trip. So that's the politics behind it. That's why a lot of scientists are very much against this theory, because it might debunk some current stuff out there. And that's who comes after Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock a lot. And there's also the politics of who was in America first, and they're finding some strange DNA. They found I talked about this with Comics Division. They found Australian DNA in a group, Aboriginal Australian DNA in a tribe in Central America, and only in Central America, deep in the jungle. And that DNA goes back 10, 12,000 years. So that means somebody got in a boat and sailed from Australia to Central America.
Wow.
And Comics Division mentioned island hopping, but you can, and even if the water level was low, that's still thousands of miles on the water. Thousands.
Yeah. God. That's impressive.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff is changing. It's very interesting. So the Piri Reis map, let's take a look at that. Piri Reis map. And this is one of a few maps that shows Antarctica prior to 1800, basically. And we supposedly discovered it in 1800. Now, it's not a perfect representation, but I believe this is the one that shows it ice-free. So on the Piri Reis map, it's noted that he got this from an older source map. And yeah, this isn't, I mean, this is a fact. So this is something that's very unexplainable. Well, to scientists, I mean, it's pretty easy to explain. We had some prior knowledge. So yeah. And this is Antarctica down here. And it's also got a cow drawn on it, or like a deer or antelope or something on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's supposed to be Antarctica.
Yep.
Huh. Damn.
And it's not the only one. There's other maps. I highly recommend anybody who's like interested in the subject to read. You start out with it's an older book, and some of the theories are outdated, but Fingerprints of the Gods is seriously one of the best books I've ever read. Graham Hancock is I don't agree with all of his theories. He's very much into hallucinogenics and ayahuasca and all that stuff. He wasn't as much in the beginning. He is now. And that's cool. If you're into that stuff, that's totally cool. I'm not, but without a doubt, it's been part of our culture. Hallucinogenics and stuff have been part of our culture for thousands and thousands of years. But I'm not too sure how healing that stuff is. It might be to some people, and that's cool. I don't judge that at all. You know, one person's medicine is another person's poison, you know? And
that's true.
And yeah, a lot of that stuff is poison to me. So, but it definitely read his books. Fingerprints of the Gods and Magicians of the Gods are fascinating reads. Even if you're, I mean, and he's not super duper woo woo at all. Like he does not believe in ancient aliens at all. He believes that there was a advanced ancient civilization in prehistory that humanity has forgotten about. And there's a lot of people who think that, you know, that's not just him. So it's interesting. I love it.
That is very interesting. And
yeah.
It's weird that we haven't found any artifacts. If they were like roughly of a 1800s level civilization, you'd think that we would find more artifacts.
You would. The funny thing is, though, is sediment builds up. And I think what Graham Hancock has been putting forth is the artifacts are right there in front of us, in front of our face, and we're dating everything wrong. And that's what I agree with. It is like the pyramids of Giza are not 4,000 years old. They're more like 12,000 years old. The Sphinx, there's a lot of evidence that it is 12,000 years old. As a matter of fact, there's erosion evidence at the base of it that pretty much guarantees that Robert Schoch, the geologist, and Anthony West, John Anthony West, I believe, have done a lot of work on. Robert Bouval is also one of those people who thinks the pyramids are a lot older. And if you look at a lot of construction, particularly in South America, it seems that a lot of cultures came in and built on the foundation of another, and you will see differences in the stone. And it seems like the stonework from older stonework is the more advanced stonework.
Huh.
So it's really interesting. Definitely, you know, like Robert Forster. But yeah, Graham Hancock's like and Randall Carson are they're all over YouTube. They have great lectures. Can't recommend it enough. There's a brand new interview with Graham Hancock out there by a channel called London Real. Unfortunately, you have to watch the second half on their app, but their app is free. So just get their app, watch the thing, and then ditch it, you know. And you can see, and he talks about his new book, and it's really an interesting interview. Talks about how he almost died too. He almost died. He had a couple seizures. Probably, well, he's been at a later age. He's been taking a lot of the DMT ayahuasca stuff, and he had a couple of life-threatening seizures.
My God,
I think there's a connection. Hallucinogenics do effed up things to your spine and your brain.
Really?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, trust me. Oh no. No. All right, Lauren. Lauren, you wouldn't be trolling us, would you?
Uh-oh.
I'll get to that in a second, Lauren. Thank you, Lauren. Mythos. Okay. Mythos Irving, Canadian $5. I'm sorry, Gary, but in my mind, two moms equals lesbians. No, they're not. Vaginas ruin everything. Not necessarily. They make a lot of things better too. Mythos Irving, for Canadian $5.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the vajayjay. Really, it depends. It's kind of like I'm sure women feel that about Johnson's as well. No, I'm adopted, so that's why I've got two moms.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Atlantis ruined by front holes. I don't know what that means. You're losing me, Mythos Irving, but thank you for the Canadian $2. Okay.
Atlantis sunk because of excess glory holes that caused civilization to decline as everyone was participating. And, there was basically so much vacuumage going on that it opened up a dimensional rift and transported Atlantis to another dimension, sucked it right out of existence. That, sir, is decadence.
Hedonism.
Yes.
Hedonism line. Okay. So Lauren Bastian says something that could be an Endgame spoiler. So everybody plug your ears. I'm going to count down. If you didn't see the super chat, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watched Endgame leak. Captain Marvel fears confirmed. Well, I kind of talked about it in a video. I didn't talk about any plot per se, but I did talk about a haircut. And if you put 2 and 2 together there, or if you go watch my video, I talk about it there. I certainly saw that. I have heard a couple things that we'll find out this Thursday. I will be live Thursday night with an Avengers Endgame review. So when I get home from the movie. And Cleve Bourbon for $2 says, "Dang it, Lauren."
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. And I'm seeing it. I will have my review out on Friday, and I will also be doing a live stream on Friday evening. So we will be able to get to the bottom of Avengers Endgame together.
Yes.
I guess you're going to see it earlier than I am, but I couldn't get in any quicker.
Yeah, I got a buddy who we've been doing this for a few years now. We see every Marvel movie together, and it's a group. It's my friend, and it's a group of people from Lucasfilm, actually, his friends. I don't know him very well. And we go to every Marvel movie, and Captain Marvel was the first time it made things weird. It wasn't enjoyable. Like usually it's just complete joy. We hang out, we eat some popcorn, bring Nerdrotic Jr., enjoy a Marvel movie. This one was weird.
Yeah. Well, it was horrible.
It
was a completely a violate. I don't know. The totally wrong vibe and a real disgrace to the Marvel. You could feel it like ending, I mean, you really could in a way that Thanos snap didn't. This feels like, oh shit, if this is what we have to look forward to, it's done. It's finished.
I think I saw Doomcock and Thunderdick in the 70s. It was a Sid and Marty Krofft production, and it came on after Electro Woman and Dyna Girl.
Yeah. And then we got together with them, and there was some walk it down kind of action going on. Yeah. It was fun times back then.
Fun times. Mythos Irving's another Canadian $5. Thoughts on Mark Wade being an idiot in his deposition? Object to form. That is Mark Wade. Mark Wade was an idiot in his deposition because he was being Mark Wade. He can't help himself. He's gonna take a case that he probably could have won and lose it badly. If I was his, I know he probably has to be deposed, but if I was his attorney, I would just like refuse to have him deposed or anything. I would lock him in a house.
Right.
Yes, I have seen your Last Jedi review. Hashtag no beard, says Cleve Bourbon for $2. Canadian $2 Mythos. Irving, I don't hate Eddie. I like him. Was busting his balls. That's good. I didn't know if he was a flat earther or not, but it's good to bust people's balls once in a while. It keeps them in a line. Builds character, as Pops used to say.
Yes.
Mark C, $5. The YouTube site The Finest has 5.5 minute video discussing the dragon footage I sent and 4 other sightings. Cool. It's called The Finest. That's wow. Man, you better be good if you called yourself The Finest on YouTube. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, really.
Brother Malachi, $5. I hate to say it, but doesn't SpaceX own MUFON or NICAP now? I didn't know that. Oh, see, I don't like that. Well, it might be Elon. That might be good. That might be good. Elon is he's not establishment yet. I don't get that feeling. Maybe he secretly is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mythos Irving, Canadian $5 at Lauren Baston. As I said, front holes ruin everything. He sticks his tongue out a little bit. Brother Malachi, $5. All these mounds, and we still haven't de-extincted the mammoth. We're close to that, Brother Malachi. I think they're on their way of. They're going to have to do it through elephants, though, so it's not going to be a true mammoth.
Yeah.
I think they can bring it back. But I don't know if that's good. I think.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know.
Yeah,
I saw Jurassic Park. I learned my lesson.
Exactly. No, but we don't know if like the mammoth carries some kind of pathogen that could wipe out humanity in its freaking spit or something like that. I mean, we don't know. I think things that are gone should remain gone, unfortunately, even though it's sad. Like the dodo bird should remain gone. I am not trolling, I promise, Lauren Bastion, from what I've seen. Okay, I got you. I didn't mean to say you were, Lauren. That's not nice of me to say.
No, I believe it entirely. I'm pretty much resigned to this thing is going to stink to high heaven.
I was just hoping against hope, Lauren, but I didn't mean to call you a troll. I apologize. Thanks for popping in the super chat. You didn't have to pay to respond to that. That's my bad. Yeah, I don't know why I just don't want to believe it. I totally believe it's happening. I mean, after sitting through Doctor Who, Star Wars, and Star Trek Discovery, it's only natural that it happens to the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't even know why
it happened. We can believe it. We can almost not believe that it won't happen. I mean, at this point, we're so beaten down that we expect this kind of thing, and I just, the only question in my mind is how bad will it be? That's basically what I'm thinking.
At this point, flat Earth is a better argument than the MCU not going woke. I mean, honestly. Mythos Irving, Canadian $5. By front hole, I mean women ran Atlantis. Women ran Atlantis. Not hating on women. It's for the lulz. Well, yeah, they turned into a matriarchy and then it sucked into the ocean. It's kind of like when the Doctor got into her TARDIS for the first time and crashed it. It's the same thing.
Yeah. It's like Rose Tico got behind the wheel, and what'd she do? She wrecked into Finn. So
could have ended it right there.
Yeah.
She wanted to make out with her boyfriend. I don't know, who doesn't even like her, by the way, because he likes Poe. Finn and Poe. Oh my God, I'm so shipping them. OMG, shipping, hashtag shipping.
Pin. Poin.
Yeah, what is that? Yeah, what is it? Again? Pin?
Yeah, pin.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, there's probably Tumblr sites dedicated to them making out and stuff. And it's like,
yeah.
Is that button handy? I hope that button's close.
Oh, it's always within reach. Don't worry.
Hey, Mythos, I know you're messing with me, man. You don't have to tell me super chat. It's all good. It's all good, brother. Canadian $5. Yeah, I feel like I have a pretty decent sense of humor. You can make fun of me pretty much about everything. I don't care. But thank you, Mythos Irving. Lots of super chats, man. Canadian $2. Dodo lives matter. How dare you, Gary? They're dead for a reason, Mythos. They're ugly, foul. They were. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Feel bad for the dodos.
Well, they should have learned how to run, you know.
I know.
Cleve Bourbon for $5. Brie Larson and Michael Burnham shall be repurposed to have Doomplomium? Wait, Doomlopian tubes and give birth to Doomcock's new army. Doomlopian tubes.
Doomlopian tubes. I love that.
Doomlopian tubes.
Go ahead and genetically alter them and just make them brood mares to go ahead and incubate a army of Doomcocks. Doomcocks coming out of their Doomlopian tubes.
Doomlopian tubes and give birth to Doomcock's new army. They'll fight, but they're hella dumb.
Well, we need cannon fodder too. They can't all be strategic geniuses.
Put them on the front lines. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody's watching Preacher out there, but they're humperdoos. There'll be a bunch of humpadoo.
Oh dear. There you go.
Yes. Aiden Mohart for $1.99. Please go to this YouTube called Bright Inside. Oh, I am a subscriber, Aiden. Bright Insight is Jimmy. Little Jimmy at Bright Insight is the one who shook the internet with his he actually got this from Gaia, but he was smart enough to make a video on it. So Atlantis is possibly the eye of the Sahara, the Ricard structure, which really is interesting when you look at it and you consider the measurements and consider its location. It's an interesting thought. So Atlantis is a city believed to be a city of concentric circles with water in between. So this Ricard structure is that.
Wow.
It's,
wow. Interesting.
The Ricard structure. Let's look it up.
So, yeah, it used to be an ocean 200 million years ago or something. So it makes sense that maybe it could have sunk. And then the waters receded, and now this structure is all that's left.
Check it out. So, well, I guess probably first I should show you the city of Atlantis, but there's the Ricard structure. Okay.
Wow.
And this is in in Africa. You can see it from space.
Holy shit.
So there is your center ring, and right in the middle, this is key here. Right in the middle, there is a fresh water spring. But on the outside, it's all salt water. This is miles from the ocean. But here, I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going to pull up what Atlantis looks like, city of Atlantis. And then I'm gonna after this go watch Jimmy's video if you haven't seen it. It's got 1 million views, so I mean a lot of people have seen it. So there's a good picture of the city of Atlantis, of what it was supposed to look like, as described by Plato.
Wow.
So there you go. That's what
it looks like. Very similar.
So what if these weren't all man-made? They were just built on a structure that looks a lot like. So let's go back to the Ricard structure.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, so I will listen. I'll show you how easy it is to find the Ricard structure on Google Maps. It takes 2 seconds, man. Trust me. I don't want to give up.
You know what you are doing.
What am I doing? Okay, here we go. There's San Francisco. That's where I am right now. Hang on. Okay, so there's Sweet home San Francisco. Oh, it's not as good as San Diego, where I grew up. And then we're going to go over here. Hello, Earth. Right there.
Wow.
There it is.
Oh, it's huge.
It's massive. So it is about 35 miles across. And it's, I mean, like within, it matches Plato's description of the rings damn near perfectly. There are mountains to the north that were covered in rivers. Well, you can see ancient rivers, ancient mountains. And here's the key, folks. So it's a little far from the coast. But if you back up, so you got to know a little bit about the Sahara. The Sahara Desert, not the Sierra Desert. This is all new. This is all 6,000 years ago. It was lush. So what caused desertification that fast? Usually that takes millions of years, not thousands. So
a giant tidal wave, perhaps?
Giant tidal wave. Doesn't it look like, for one of the theories of where all the sand came from is the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
And, say a giant meteor, I don't know, just goes down right here. 1,000-foot wave, boom, goes over the whole thing. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know this for a fact, but it certainly looks like something washed all this stuff away. Like it came in, it came out.
Yeah, you can even looks like drag marks on the features.
Yep.
Like going towards the water. On the ridge there, right there by the M.
Right there.
It almost looks like that stuff is going in that direction, doesn't it?
Yep. So nobody knew this thing was here until we went into space and saw it. It's in a extremely remote part of a extremely dangerous country, Mauritania, where it's in like the top 5 most dangerous places on Earth. So people aren't going there. There have been archaeological trips there. They have found stuff. There's a lot of evidence. You got to go to Jimmy at Bright Insights video, and then you go, if you want, you got to go to Gaia, but you have to pay at Gaia, and there is a documentary on it. It's fascinating. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. But
that's amazing.
Yeah. So cool. I was right. Right there. Boom, boom. Where's Malta? Where am I? Okay, yeah. So I was right there.
Nice,
no,
right
right there. Licata. That's where I was. Right in there. And I drove all around the entire island. And I guess when I was at that point, that was the closest to Africa I've ever been. I think it was like 50 miles. It was pretty trippy.
This part close.
This part of the island right here, going to Palermo, it's all tunnels. They dug out this entire part. This whole highway is tunnels.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. So there you go.
Sweet, man. Well, I don't know. I think that's plausible.
Pretty trippy stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. The sand and the salt water and the fresh water well. I mean, it's just I bet that's Atlantis.
And Brother Malachi said $5. Remember, the Sierra used to be green, and its main export was salt in antiquity. Why? Because it was flooded. There you go. Did you ever watch Disney's Atlantis animated movie? I did not, Nicholas Horton. I didn't. But prior to the channel, I'm like, I don't like Disney. I've never liked Disney.
Yeah.
Never been a fan of it. Thank you for the £2. Mythos Irving, Canadian $5. Why? That's why we could find Atlantis where we're looking in the wrong place. It was on the land. It didn't sink at all. It just got flooded. And if you look at, if you read Plato's, he's written 2 things on it. It wasn't really flooded. It turned into mud. He talks about how it turned into mud. Is that the brown eye of the Sahara? Maybe. We live in a matriarchy. Thanos snap would look real good about now, says Mythos Irving. We're not there yet. What's it called when men and women rule together? It's like not an oligarchy or something like. I don't know my words. It's getting a little late. Marriage. Yeah, it's called a marriage. That works out pretty good most of the time. I mean,
Yeah.
50% of the time, but I'm in a good one. So, they're not all bad. But what's going on in Hollywood Mythos is what's called an overcorrection. And basically, Star Trek Discovery tried to right all the wrongs of Hollywood in one franchise and ended up burying it because they forgot to tell a story.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Worthless. Absolutely worthless.
Fucking. Oh man.
They told a story. It was gibberish. However.
We're gonna hear when you get to. There's a certain point in the episode, the entire world is gonna hear it when you get there.
Yeah. Sometime tomorrow.
Oh boy. Well, we're waiting. We're patiently take your time. It's okay. The series is over.
It's gonna be a big one. I only made it 15 minutes in. Already had 10 pages of notes, so I fear it's going to be quite a epic review.
Yeah. Good. Mine will be a little short. I cut to the chase because I've already done 2 videos on it already. So I kind of cut to the chase, and I mix in Anti-Trekker did a viewing party that's like 3 hours long, but his reactions are freaking gold. So I cut in a couple of those in because he like spurgs out so hard on a couple times. It's hilarious. Comedy gold. And it's like just seeing this 51-year-old guy just lose it. He has a little punching bag when he gets pissed. He starts hitting the punching bag. It's funny as hell. It's good stuff. All right. It's getting late. I think we should I think especially for you, man. Sorry, man. I get the babbling and stuff. I know you're a trooper, but goddamn, it's late for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. No, I'm used to it. This was a great time, man.
I always have fun with Doomcock. So, if you're watching this, I'm going to keep it up here on the channel for a little teeny bit, but then I'm going to take it down and it's going to go on Nerdrotic Live. And that's where all of the ExoZone stuff will live. I'm sorry about that, but it's kind of an algorithm thing. And it sucks. And YouTube really doesn't like us people talking about UFOs and stuff like that anymore, unfortunately. I mean, at least we're still allowed to do it, but it's yeah.
I don't know why. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a political thing. I don't understand why they would be coming down against it so hard, but seems that they are.
Yeah, it's almost like they want to control the information. According to Bill Burr, they like to pick and choose what they want about being like men. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't. The one thing I'll address is okay, that's great. Where's the representation in sanitation, in in roadworks, in infrastructure? There's draft cards too. I know the draft is supposedly not legal anymore, but they still make people fill out draft cards. My son had to both. My youngest son's going to have to fill one out. My oldest son filled one out. I filled one out. I still have it, by the way.
That's weird. I saw that in a post office recently.
The draft card. Yeah, it's
weird. What the hell?
Like if they're not going to do it anymore, then why are they still making people sign up for it?
Just in case.
Right.
They can do it anytime that they want, basically.
Now, Mike Brown is in here. He is the author. Hang on, Mike. I got your books right here. He sent them to me. At least, yeah. With my Italian, I got Italian comics, man. Oh, I got Alien and whatever this says and whatever that is. I don't understand a word. Then I got some Walking Dead Italian comics. Then I got classic Zagor, who's like fighting cowboys and Indians. I don't know what it is, but it's an old classic Italian comic. And yeah, I was like, oh shit, I need to have that. I got that in the duty free. Okay, so yes. So Mike Brown, who's in there, wrote these books.
Nice.
There you go. And you can, hey, look, his avatar is that right there. And these are called the Atlantis Chronicles. They're available on Amazon, ladies and gentlemen. So he sent me these, very, very generous, and I'm going to review
Well done, sir.
Yes. And I showed you this. I got the Colossus, the Dr. Forbin project from Colossus. Dr. Forbin is
yes, as did I. Absolutely.
Yes. But I haven't been to my P.O. box lately. I need to go. All right, everybody. Hey, thank you for all the super chats. And my God, Mythos Irving, that's a lot of super chats, man. And thank you so much, everybody. And thanks for hanging out at the ExoZone. I got a couple more to read, then I'm going to have you plug your stuff. Mythos Irving, you missed the one before, Gary. Read it. Men and women should be equal. In my opinion, feminists don't want that. No, they don't. Well, a certain type. Okay.
Right.
The intersectional feminism is the particular problem, because that's almost a I don't want to say racist. It's like a bigoted version of it, because everything has to be separated into groups, and you can't judge anything as an individual. Everything has to be separated into a group so we compare each other against each other for eternity, which is bullshit. So sorry about that, Mythos Irving. I would have gone through it again, but thank you very much. Cleve Bourbon, $5. I'll send you my novels if you want. They're fantasy, not that kind of fantasy. Oh, that'd have been okay too. No. Yeah, please. P.O. Box is on my website, and it's in the about section of this channel too. Loquacious Primate for $5. Have you kept up on the recent research in cyclobin by many universities? Started out on terminal limited groups, but moving to healthy populations. No. What's up with that?
I think is it like psilocybin?
Psilocybin. There it is. I said cyclobin. Psilocybin. Yeah. They were using DMT. They wanted to see how it would work on PTSD, and it was inconclusive, but they're using mushrooms for PTSD now too. And that might help, but man, the thing is not non-scientific here, Loquacious Primate, just from actual use. You hit the wrong person with hallucinogenic, and I've seen it. I've seen people never come back, never ever come back. So, that's it. I don't know if it's worth the risk, because you hit the wrong person and they just don't come back. And yeah. Third wave is a problem. Christian Hoff Summers is great, says Mythos Irving. Canadian $5. Okay, everybody. Doomcock, please plug your channel.
My channel is youtube.com/overlorddvd. I have a Patreon with tons and tons of exclusive content on it that isn't available on YouTube. Recently, just today, I posted a full-length movie commentary on Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I do. I'm also going through every single Star Trek episode and doing DVD commentaries on those. So also subscribestar.com/Doomcock and a merch store, Zazzle.com/DVD Shoporama. And hopefully this week I have something pretty cool coming out, something pretty funny. So watch for that this next week.
Nice.
And that's about it.
Zazzle. Yeah. Hey, I've got merch. It's but you can see it on my channel. I got people have been buying the shirts. Kind of stoked about that. That's cool. I'm going to be wearing them every day at Comic-Con. So yeah. So what's in my future? I'm going to Contact in the Desert for ExoZone May 31st through June 4th. Following that, I'm going to Comic-Con in San Diego. And then I'm going to been a lot of traveling, believe me. And then I'm going to Vegas for the Star Trek convention. Not going to miss that. Not going, especially because it's my birthday. So Mrs. Neurotic is taking me. Yeah. So, well, I'm trying to lure YouTube channels to come with me, including you, but I know it's, again, it's an expensive venture. But I don't know. Vegas can be cheap to stay.
Yeah, I love Vegas.
Yeah, I love Vegas. So and plus I have a place where we could do a meetup. It's called the Millennium Fandom Bar, and I know the owner, and I'm sure I could talk him into hosting a bunch of YouTubers to do like a live stream and a hangout in Vegas during Star Trek convention, kind of like they did at Star Wars Celebration. And that's what inspired it, because I missed Star Wars Celebration. I'm like, fuck, I want to do something now. So, and certainly all those people are welcome too. And they don't have to go to the Star Trek convention. They can just hang out in Vegas.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's, and plus it's a great write-off.
Oh, yeah.
Have write-offs. So, yeah. So yes, birthday, Vegas, hookers, blow, hangover. There would have been a day. Yes. Yes. But, it's, I could have my wife probably dress up as one for me if I really needed her to. She's a good woman. Tax write-off. It's the Millennium Flamingo Bar. No, blast it. It's the not the Millennial Flamingo Bar. I didn't catch that. The Millennium Fandom Bar. It's like a sports bar, but it's a nerd bar. It's by the Stratosphere. All right, everybody. So I'm going to get to bed now because I'm starting to lose it a little bit. Well, losing it further. And if by any chance I am going to run up here. Okay. If I missed any super chats, I will make up for it tomorrow on the Nooner. Okay, guys. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for watching the ExoZone. Again, this will be on Nerdrotic Live in about an hour or two. So it'll be up here for a little while, though. So everybody have a good night. Go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. And may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Ciao.